Hey everybody, how you doing? Oh my God,
Hey.
I'm super excited to be here. So let me tell everybody how this is going to roll. I am going to share probably very personal stories. Any kind of question you want to ask, you are more than welcome. Nothing is off limits. Just be prepared for the honest answer. And that's it. So why don't we start? I'm actually going to go around the horn, and then Amy, why don't you kind of keep track of who we've asked? Actually, let's go with Alexis, because you are first. Yes, you, Alexis. Take your mic off. Okay, there you are.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm totally having heart palpitations right now.
Hi.
Oh my word. Okay. Anyway, okay, we're good. Hi,
Okay.
Mel.
Hi. So, Alexis, where are you watching from?
I'm actually in Morgan, Vermont.
What?
Yeah, I know. So crazy. I'm north, you're south. It's like I think you're like 3 hours from me. That's so cool.
Fantastic. And tell us a little bit about why you signed up for B School.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So in 2019, I got certified with the John Maxwell team as a coach, speaker, teacher, and trainer. And
Yep.
I absolutely love it. And I feel like this is my destiny. I'm supposed to do this, right? I've had a crazy life. By the age of 10, I probably went through more than anybody has at the age of 50. But yeah, so I feel like that's important. And I was working with executive women and just up and coming leaders. But now I've since I started B School, I switched my focus to work with teens and young adults, because I think that that is the foundation, right? The 15 to 25, when you're really trying to figure out your life and like where you're going to go, and that your circumstances don't define who you are. So that is what I'm kind of doing right now. And I just, you know what? I saw you post it. I love Marie, and it was the exact calling that I needed. I just finished both of your books, the 5 Second Rule and the High Five Habit. And I was just like, you know what? I feel like God's telling me this is what I need to do. And so I took the leap and I did it, and I could not be happier. I've gotten so clear, but anyway, I'm going to stop talking. So that's why.
Oh, no, don't stop talking. So that's fantastic. So here's what I want you to do. Tell me about the business. So you want to make a difference with youth. Do you want to be a life coach? Do you want to be a therapist? Do you want to offer programs? Like, tell us the vision. And everybody, I'm going to teach as we're doing this. So when you have an opportunity to explain your business, and you might not know the answer to this because there's no right answer, practice getting clearer and clearer about what you're putting out into the world. So paint the picture for me, so I, as a potential consumer or supporter of the business, understand what you do.
Okay, so I work with young adult women and teens between the ages of 15 and 25 to help them take their goals and turn them into achievable successes.
Cool. And so who hires you? Parents?
Yeah, so they're my ideal target as far as the decision maker, and the 15-year-old to 25-year-old women are who I actually work with. So as far as mentoring and coaching is what I focus on.
Fantastic. So as a parent, if I had a child in that age group, you would be somebody, if I were looking for a therapist or a college advisor or whatever, and my kid needs something, but they just like, I can't do it because I'm fighting with them all the time and they seem undirected and they're pissing, like you're the person that I'm like, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, great. How can I help you? What are you struggling with, or what question do you have specifically that I can help you with?
Yeah. So since I just changed directions to work with teens and young adults, now it's really kind of getting into the mindset of, how do I approach the parents? Where do I find them? So I have a 9 to 5 that I work with as well through a corporation. So it was easier for me to find young women leaders before, because I was always in front of them. But now I have to change that. And I guess I'm not quite sure how to do that. Do I approach schools, or do I try to do some speaking there? Or is it that I just have to find a platform where moms and parents are?
Okay. So what you're asking is, how do I find the people that would buy from me, right? How do I reach the people I want to make an impact for? What I don't want you to do, everybody, is I don't want you to have a needle in a haystack mentality. I don't want you to narrow your focus and say, should I go to schools? Should I do this? Should I do that? I want you to invert it. Okay. And what I mean by that is instead of looking for the singular thing, the singular place that you're going to find people, I want you to first think about what is it that I need to put out into the world? What conversation do I want to be having on social media so that anybody looking for this sort of thing can find me? And when you're just getting started, what that means, in my opinion, and again, you're going to get all kinds of information in this course, all kinds of resources, but to just get started, everybody, you need a one-pager in terms of your website. I personally believe if you are launching a service-based business where you are the one providing the service, I prefer that your name be the URL. And if you cannot get your name, somehow get your name in it. Because if you think about it, when people are going to refer you to other people, they're not going to remember the such and such coaching service or the this and that, blah, blah, blah. They're going to refer you, the human being. You even just said, I got certified in John Maxwell. You referred to John Maxwell. And so first and foremost, you want to make sure you understand you are the brand. Okay. So don't worry about a fancy name. If you have a fancy name, that's no big deal. But I want to encourage you to really think about the fact that you want to build equity in your name. My husband and I right now are building this house in Southern Vermont. And the guy that is building it, Eric Gutbeer, he has a construction company. I think it's Red Mountain Construction. I never refer to the construction company, even though that's what's on his car. That's what the website is. That's what the URL handle is. I only ever refer to him as Eric. And that's how I would introduce him to somebody. The woman that's helping me pick out the stuff, like, so that it's like, we got tile and that stuff. Her business is called Blend Designs. I don't refer to people to Blend Designs. I refer them to Christina. And so if you are a service-based business, do not underestimate how important it is that you build your name. That's number one. Number two, I believe it is extraordinarily important for you to start having a conversation with the world about what you do. What does that mean? That means before you go into a school and start talking to people, make sure you have a one-page website that somebody can find you at, or a Facebook page that looks legit, or a LinkedIn page that looks like a place online that people can find you, where you explain that this is what you do. And the reason why you want that is because if you do go into a school and you talk to somebody, they're then going to Google you, or they're then going to want to go look, and they just need to see a page. That's it. You need a place just to get started. Because a lot of times in the beginning, I got myself totally freaked out about, I need 10 pages. I need this. I need testimonials. I need the other thing. If you're making the pivot now, keep it simple, because that's going to give you the confidence to be able to get out there and know that people are going to see something that backs up what you're saying. And it can be very simple. Third thing is, and I'm going to hammer this a lot, everybody, social media. Your social media accounts, especially if you're in business for yourself, should reflect what you're doing in business. Whether you're taking a photo of yourself with your favorite book for teenagers, whether you are writing short passages, whether you're doing those little swipe series, the 7 things that make, girls insecure, ages 15, whatever. I want you to start to realize that even more important than your website, your social media is speaking volumes about what you do. And the reason why I went from don't have a needle in the haystack mindset, let's invert it and let's make sure that you're everywhere before you think about where the audience is because when you start to walk into schools, when you start to have parents hire you to work with their kids, there is going to be a chain reaction of people who are going to want to talk to you about what you're doing. And I'm going to tell you why. Let me just take a sip of water. It is impossible to find a therapist. Anxiety levels in kids are through the roof. There has never been a greater need for somebody to offer coaching services to kids. And you want to make it very easy and very clear that this is what you do. Can't find a therapist and you really just need somebody to provide structure and goal setting and accountability. I work with kids with ADHD. I work with kids like this. I work with kids like that. I have experience in this. There you go. Make it very easy for them to understand what you do and to reach out and ask you about it. And so once you have a one pager, once you've got one or two posts that look fine, it does not have to be like a full-on content strategy. Now you're in business. And then, yes, you should go to schools. The other place that you should go, where else have you thought about going before I just tell you all this? Because I'm sure you know.
Yeah, so I've obviously thought of the schools. I've thought of high schools and college. I have an 18, well, she's going to be 18 in a couple of weeks, my daughter. And so I was thinking about talking to her and getting in front of her friends and maybe doing some surveys of like what they're struggling with, and then just talking to their parents. I mean, I have 4 children. I should be able to talk to parents. And I think that, again, that social circle.
Now, hold on. Did anybody else pick up on a little insecurity there? I have 4 kids. I should be able to talk to parents. Yeah. So my suspicion is that are you sure about your pricing? And are you sure about the program you're offering?
No, I'm not. So the program, I think that's what it is. I know what I want to do.
What do you want to do?
I just want to mentor girls so that they know that their circumstances and the hard decisions that they go through at a young age aren't going to define who they are as they become adults. And I don't know why that's so, it's definitely a mindset. I know it's all mindset, and I feel it in my bones when I talk about it, that I have the ability to do it and I'm holding myself back. And I don't know why.
Yeah, you do. Why are you holding yourself back?
Oh man. Probably because I had such a rough upbringing, and I feel like sometimes that still haunts me. And I think that people don't look at me as the professional or the girl who overcame. Sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in the girl who was.
Okay. Question. Yeah. Do you live in the place you grew up?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is going to, if you live in the place that you grew up and you had a very rough childhood and you experienced childhood trauma, the only person who needs to be convinced that you've overcome it is you.
Yeah.
What did you just get?
Oh, I got a whole lot. Like, yes, that is right. I need to let it go. And,
well, you'll never let it go because it's a part of you. Like, the thing about trauma is it gets stored in your nervous system.
Yeah.
And so there's lots that you can do to smooth out your nervous system and to heal what's been recorded in your subconscious and in your nervous system. That's a different conversation. Yeah. The conversation that you and I need to have is the one about the story you're telling yourself. You've brought up your past multiple times. And in my world, all of that hardship that you went through is the reason why you have expertise in this area. It is the reason why kids that age would listen to you. It is the reason why you are perfectly equipped to make a difference. And all that you need is a system. You see, I think a lot of times we all get tripped up, everybody, because we think we've got to mentally be there when that's a big battle. if we just create some simple systems and you focus on following the systems, your mindset catches up with the systems. It's through your actions that you change your life and you change your beliefs about yourself. And so if you're waiting, or Alexis, or any of you are waiting to feel ready or waiting to feel like people are going to believe you or this, that, and the other thing, you will wait for the rest of your life. We need to equip each one of you with a couple simple steps that create a system that allow you to take actions that align with the person you know you are deep down inside. So what do I mean when, in your case, when I talk about systems? Well, number one system would be a pricing structure and a program. And I'm going to give you the one that I started with when I started a life coaching business in 2001. And then I'm going to talk about mentoring versus coaching, okay? Because it's two totally different things. One of them is volunteer and the other is paid, okay? And so I do not want you to confuse those two things. When I got started as a life coach in 2001, I had a very simple system for pricing what I did and for recruiting clients. This is what I said. I said, I work with successful people who feel stuck or bored in life. And just about everybody that would hear me say that would go, well, shit, that's me. And then they would say, what do you do? I say, well, I am a master at helping you figure out what to do next, what's not working, how to fix it. I hold you accountable. And if you don't do what I say, I fire you as a client. And then people would say, what? You fire me? And I say, yes, because if you're not going to do what I say, why would I coach you? My job is to tell you what to do so that you can start to feel more fulfilled and less stuck. Okay, that sounds interesting. What's the price? I think I was like $75 an hour when I started. And I had no retainer. I had no minimum amount of time. I didn't have like a 3-month program, a 6-month this. There are a lot of coaches that are like, you got to commit. You got to commit to the 6 months. You got to pay in full in advance. I was so insecure when I started my business. I'm like, I will do anything to get somebody to say yes. So let me make the bar so low that, hey, we have our first call. It's an hour. It's $75. If I do a good job, we book the next one. If you cancel in less than 24 hours, you still owe me the $75. And that was that. And it made it easy for somebody to say yes. And it allowed me to create a little system. When somebody said, what do you do for a living? I said, life coach. What's that? Oh, it means that I work with successful people who feel stuck or bored. Oh, that sounds like me. How does it work? Oh, well, I basically boss you around until you get your act together. Really? Yes. If you don't do what I say, I fire you. For real? Yes. How much does it cost? Oh, it's simple. I don't like fancy, complicated things. It's $75 an hour. You pay as you go. If I don't like you, we don't keep going. If you don't like me, we don't keep going. There you go. It takes about 3 months typically. Really? Really? Oh, okay. So you want to book a call? Yes. Holy shit, I have a client. Okay, now what do I do? So you need that system so that you're not doing focus groups, because you don't need to do focus groups. What does a parent need right now?
Support, understanding, help.
Yes. And how much would a parent likely pay if they had a trusted resource that their kid would speak to for an hour every week or two? How much would you pay?
I would pay any amount, honestly. But I don't know, like $100.
$100 a what?
An hour or a session. Most sessions would be an hour.
Okay, terrific. There you go. There's your system. Do you have a minimum number of meetings?
See, I did. I was doing 3 months and I didn't like that. So I like the we do one session, see how it goes. If I like you and if you like me, I love that. That took so much pressure off. As soon as you were saying that, I literally felt it all lift. It's just, that's incredible.
And then here's another service. You ready? And mom and dad, assuming your kids are 18 and under, we also have a session.
Yeah.
Because I need to know what's actually going on, and you need to know what I'm talking to your kid about.
Yeah.
And my job is to help your child be successful and feel better about themselves as they're filling out applications, or as they're sorting through their stuff and you're waiting to get them into therapy, or you're like all that stuff. That's how you get started. And see, what's going to happen is this: you get 2 or 3 kids on the roster, and parents, as you know, talk. And what you want them to do is to say, oh, well, we hired Alexis. She's been amazing. She's helping them stay more organized, feel more confident. It's just been a wonderful resource. And then other parents are like, can you give me her name? And that's how it starts. And then what will happen, because this is what happened to me, it's going to happen to you, is when you have a simple way to kind of get started, you do not need focus groups at all. You need a one-page website. You need a simple system for pricing. You need a way to talk about what you do so that other people can tell other people. And then once you get going, you'll feel your way there. You'll determine once you get moving, oh, I only like 10 clients at a time. Oh, I would prefer a 3-month retainer. Oh, I prefer clients that get referred in by a therapist. Oh, no, I actually love working with kids that are applying to college. And so there's a lot of guidance counselors that send people to me. And so you'll find your way that way.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. And I did use my name. So yay there. And I did just actually get my page done. I just need to add a subscription spot. So thank you so much, Mel. Oh my gosh. I thank you so much.
Awesome. Awesome. And I love Elena cheering for you that you can do this. Stay close with this group, everybody. There's nothing that is preventing you from connecting with each other, reaching out to each other, supporting each other. What did you get from this conversation?
Sorry, are you asking me or are you asking me? Okay. I got clarity. And honestly, I think for me, it was somebody else saying that I am capable, right? Like just hearing those words, like I know that I'm capable and I have the experience, and that's why people would value what I have to say.
You know why people value what you have to say? Because you value what you have to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why. Do you believe that if somebody hands you their kid and $100 an hour, that you would make a positive difference?
Wholeheartedly.
That's the only thing you need to know. Okay?
Thank you.
And here's another trick, everybody. Feel sorry for people that don't hire you. Not sorry like I pity you, but just like, oh, what a shame. Oh, you're really missing out on that. That's too bad. Really sorry for you.
Awesome. Oh, thank you, Mel. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I see Jackie. I'm going to call on Jackie next because she's like going like this. Yeah, no. You're getting something out of this. So tell me, what did you just get out of that, Jackie? Unmute your mic. You don't get to opt out here. Here we go. Come on. It's like I'm live.
Oh my God. This is surreal. Oh, Mel, I've been following you since you were writing success articles at Success Magazine.
Oh my God.
I have followed you for so long. Holy crap. Oh, anyway. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir, and Alexis she's so dead on what she has to do, and she has to do it. I find myself in the same situation that I don't do it. And I know people are missing out. Women are missing out on it. I'm a military spouse, 22 years, got divorced, remarried, 4 kids, 46, starting all over again, hit rock bottom. Mel, you got me out of it with the 5-second rule.
You got you out of it.
Okay, but you helped
me, but you did the hard work.
You were the freaking launching pad. I was a rocket, and you were the one that had the pad for me to push that button to finally say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So first rule number 1, and the second one, the high 5 habit. has inspired me. In other words, I'm almost crying because I want to meet you one day, but right now this is as best as it is. And I hear you with Alexis and everybody else that's with us. I've been waiting for years to get started and I won't. And I know that people are missing out. What you just said, hit the nail on the head, was how am I going to feel when that person could have used that information that I had all along, all these years? Military wise, I don't know if you guys heard about the 4 Marines that died. I'm a family readiness officer for an Osprey squadron. So that's the aircraft that crashed.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Oh, well, I was military. Well, I was Navy. I was an air traffic controller when Miramar was Top Gun a long time ago. And my new husband's a pilot, and I'm still telling him where to go. Anyway, and the military is stressful, especially under the conditions with everything going on. And I learned a lot along the way, the hard way, from supporting lots of kids, moving every 3 years, overseas, divorce, financial, anyway. And people can say, you have to write a book, But I'm Jersey educated. I can write a book. But Mel, your books help simplify I hear you talk. So I figure if I can write something where people can hear me talk, I can't believe I'm talking to you. It's just, but I'm like, okay, I am not a writer. I'm a speaker. And that's what I do now is I take care of 400 Marines and our families that are deployed and relocation and their children. It's a big magnitude overall, but people say you need to get it out there. I know I have.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Can I ask a question? So tell me, is this something that the military pays you to do, or is this something that you do?
Okay, military pays. All right, so I don't know if any of my team members here are veterans or spouses or so on, but normally ombudsmen are volunteer. But the Marine Corps got smart because when women complain, they would go straight to the top of a commanding officer. The commanding officer has a lot of responsibility. So what they did is hired a civilian, like someone like me, to kind of intercept before it goes up the chain of command. So when a wife's like, my husband didn't pay me, or my kid's really sick, or I'm relocating, they would contact me. Okay. And so that's kind of the paid job that I did. And with budget cuts in the past.
Got it. So now what do you want to do now?
So the problem runs into is the lack of knowledge of a lot of women find themselves, and other spouses too, men too. I mean, I understand men marry women, Marines or soldiers or so on, is they don't know what they don't know. And they don't know what's up against them when the stress of deployment or their children are sick and their husband has to go and get stationed somewhere else and the family gets left behind. Financial, the VA, how do I qualify for a loan? They get all this money.
I love this. So do you want to start a business getting paid to basically coach, help, spread content and information that allow, and I'm gonna put this in the widest possible terms.
Okay.
So for example, the way that somebody would hire somebody to help them understand the world of college and how to apply and financial aid and when things are due. You want to create a business where folks in the military come to you, or the hub that you create, or the community that you've organized, and be a part of it so that you make other people's lives easier because you have all this knowledge to share. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, that's
perfect. Is there anybody else that does this right now?
No, not really. I
think there's an enormous opportunity here.
We have first responder. My daughter's first responder. So veterans, active, reservists, and first responders is my world. We are whole family. My son's a sniper, recon Marine. I've got a daughter in the medical. So the whole thing is, but the problem is we're in this urgency and this kind of incredibly pressured world, and everybody learns to live with it. But what happens when it falls, when someone dies, or you get divorced, or a crisis hits? In this millennial age, these young Marines or Navy or Air Force, they want everybody to take care of the boo-boo, even the military structure, and it doesn't work that way. And it's
So,
just
so let me focus you real quick, because I do think you have a really interesting idea.
okay.
And here's the challenge with a really interesting idea.
I'm all ears.
It's so big.
It is. That's why I think I've hesitated.
And there's so many things you could do. And there's so many places to start and so much need to fill. And we've already gone from the military to first responders to here. And here's the good part of that. When you're somebody that continues to magnify things and to build, that just means that your vision, your heart, and your impact are just huge. That's a great thing.
But it paralyzes me, Mel.
Well, let me tell you how we're going to get started. Okay. So number one,
I can't believe it.
Personally think that what you need to do first, and you may already be doing this, is I personally believe that starting a Facebook group or using a platform called Circle, but you might want to start on Facebook only because I think what you could easily do is create a groundswell here. And I would keep them. Maybe you have this whole idea of people that are in these, whether it's first responder or military, Marines being one, Army probably a different one, that because there's different kind of knowledge to how the different systems work, right? And the different armed forces and whether or not you're a first responder. And so here's where I would start. I would start with what you know and the thing that calls you the most. And I would start a Facebook group. And I would literally, this is going to sound crazy, but I would literally use Facebook as a training ground for yourself to declare that you are building a place online for people to come and to connect with one another and to get the help and the information that they need. That's number one. Number two, your role is going to be to run the group and to also, I think you need to be going live in the group and you need to pick a topic every day or a particular person that wrote in with a question.
Wow.
And talk about the answer. And this is how you're going to start to build content. And this is the way you get going.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I'm going to recommend this approach for you is because I think you need a groundswell before you're going to feel like you can go, okay, this free group is amazing. Now what I'm going to do is for X dollars a month, you can join a managed community that's dealing with this particular topic. And then you put them on a platform. And so when I found out, so let me tell you why I think this approach is really important.
Okay.
When I started investigating getting my breast implants taken out, I found out once I pulled the medical records. I mean, I just wanted them out because I hated them. But when I pulled the medical records, I found out that the implants that I had put in 4 years ago had been recalled because they were causing lymphoma in women. And I didn't even know. And so they fast tracked the surgery. And as soon as I started stumbling into the world of what they call explant surgery, everybody kept recommending this private Facebook group. Wow. I mean, anytime I talk to somebody, they're like, oh my God, you got to join this Facebook group. You got to join. Oh, you get in the explant. It's run by this woman. And there were hundreds of thousands of women in this private Facebook group, all talking about breast implant illness, explant surgery, passing information about surgeons. And it was the most helpful resource I had ever experienced.
Wow.
And I believe that is where you should start, because I
Yes.
think the groundswell would happen so quickly that people would start to recommend it to each other. And that's how I would get started. Because when you're somebody like you and me, big thinkers, big ideas, big impact, big vision, you literally spend years thinking about how big this could be.
That's the last 3 years, at least 4 years for me. And it's,
Yeah. And you just need a simple system. You need a place to go every day so you feel like you're doing the thing. Okay.
yeah, no,
What did you get from this?
Facebook. Yeah, I think yeah, that's starting something, because again, it's big, but I need to narrow it down and funnel. I did sign up for the B course, Maria's class as well, because I didn't know how to funnel. There's so much I want to do.
I think if you were to just give yourself permission for a couple months, that I'm just got a big vision. I'm going to build the biggest community of veterans helping each other and helping new people into the Marines. And you start there.
Okay.
And you get the word out. There's so much information to share. There's so much frustration that I experienced because I didn't know any better. I want to share that knowledge. I want to help people. I think you should start there, because I promise you that thing is going to take on a life of its own, and then it's going to become very relevant what is in B school and what to do with it. And look, if you
That's
have
great.
that place to come to every day,
Yeah.
it's going to lift your spirit and your confidence. So even if you're working somewhere else and you're making ends meet and you're making the bills, like get paid, and that's not your dream, then you have something every day where you are literally laying a brick on this path that you're walking down.
It's so true.
It's so true. And
True.
And that will take on a life of its own. And, you know, for those of you, by the way, who are working while you're launching your business, that's fantastic. All the research shows that the people that keep their jobs while they're launching something are more successful. And the reason why is because you're not putting financial pressure on your dream. You're giving your dream and your business that you're launching the runway that it needs, and you're giving yourself the permission to build it over time. And that allows you to make different decisions than if you're trying to launch this thing and you're like, I got to pay my mortgage and no, geez, I got to get the website. Like, it's a totally different ballgame. And so it's a good thing. And a second piece of advice for everybody that is launching something and still working full time, figure out what you can do at your current job or a new job that somebody else is paying you that teaches you something that's going to help you in this business. So even if you take a job working a front desk at a digital marketing agency, you're actually just in that world and you're around people that are in that world. Or if there are projects at work where people need help with email campaigns, raise your hand, even if you don't know anything about it, because it then teaches you something that is relevant to the larger vision and the thing that you're building over time. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. Yeah,
Terrific.
no, thank you, Mel. So
Terrific.
much.
So what did you get out of this?
Start small with a Facebook conversation, targeted with just the questions, I think that is probably the first step, because then I'm going to get all the information or the questions that are the concern, and it'll funnel through giving me the now platform to now how did I solve it? Like you said, I don't have all the answers. I don't, but I know what I went through and how it can help them. And I do want to help others see
Great.
the light. And so
I think it's perfect. You're super clear. It's very focused. It's something you can do every day while you're still dealing with your life. And it's going to build momentum quickly if it's on Facebook. And you'll learn a lot by starting it. And it's a very simple message to spread. I'm starting this thing. I want a place for people to gather. Every day I'm going to answer a question and give people resources. And I'm inviting everybody to jump in and do the same. And
Do
that's
you feel that Facebook is the biggest versus Instagram, or I don't do very
1,000%
much.
Facebook.
Okay.
1,000%
Because
Facebook,
there's
because
so
there's
much.
no group feature on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can take your teachings and post them on Instagram and on YouTube, but the
Okay.
place where people can comment and share and connect with each other is Facebook.
It's Facebook.
Even though Facebook, you know, has got
Is
all
old people.
negative stuff. Well, so what? A lot of
Yeah.
young people on there too. And trust me, like it was one conversation. And then all I heard in my explant journey was, you got to do that group on Facebook, that group on Facebook, that group on Facebook.
Kidding.
And I would imagine the bigger you get, the more people be like, oh, you're joining. Oh, make sure you sign up with that Facebook group. And by the way, do not be discouraged if you go to start this and you start to see other Facebook groups that sound similar.
Sure.
That doesn't mean your idea has been taken. It means your idea is needed. And only you,
Yeah.
only you are going to do your idea your way.
Correct. I left my job and I have the Sabbath time, and this is giving me exactly the time to do and work on it. So to me, it's a blessing. To me, it's the timing and meeting you and having my team members that will stay in touch and keep ourselves accountable, because it's long overdue. And I know there are others missing out on it, on something that I already have. So shame on me. So when you said that earlier for Alexis, that's what hit me really hard. I'm thinking, all right, no more excuses.
I know, just go. Facebook, easy. Make it easy. I'm into making, now that I'm 53, I'm like, can we just make this easier? How can I make this easier? Let's just make this easier. I've spent 50 years making life hard. Let's just make it easier. Excellent job. Excellent job. All right, we're going to go to LaToya next. LaToya, who's also a veteran. Oh my God, LaToya, I just saw you in the comments. Fantastic.
Yeah. Hi. It's nice to be talking to you.
It's
And
great to talk to you too.
Okay. So I guess I would just start with like my idea or my business idea, my business model. So I'm definitely one of those people that's a little bit all over the place. It's definitely like to be of service. So I guess my target audience would be people that have gone through some sort of trauma, big trauma or small trauma, just trauma in general. And they're at this point in their lives where they are noticing that the person that's in their way is them. Like I've cried about it. It's been, you know, I've had my I've been depressed about it. And now I want to move forward, but I'm stuck in a cycle. I've been living my life this way for such a long time. And I don't want to live my life, you know, trying to push my pain away. I want to, you know, integrate it or make it my buddy. I want to use this to empower my journey or to even help other people if I want to tell my story. So it's kind of all over the place because this is kind of a personal story for.
First of all, I don't think you're all over the place at all.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I guess there is a part 2 to it because it would be coaching. And I would be sharing the things that helped me along my journey and the things that I've accumulated over time from all of the women and the teachers that I've learned from. And this is my little basket of things that help me. And I want to give this to you. And if it helps, then that's great. And the other aspect of it was when I was going through like my initial counseling for the things that I'd gone through, I got really into herbs, teas, and I started making my own teas. And that was just like really like, it was really nice. Like it was really therapeutic. So being able to share some of the, you know, the formulas that I've made or even doing like some classes like, oh, you know, you can create your own tea based off depression or anxiety or, you know, you're a little scattered or, you know, there's an herb for that and you can make your own and we can do it together or not. I can send you a box, but yeah, it's like, it feels like two different things, but
it doesn't feel like two different things at all to me.
Okay. Awesome.
It doesn't feel like two different things at all to me.
Okay.
And you know what else I love about this is that I can tell that it is deeply personal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I think that's why it's a little bit difficult for me to kind of get started with it, because I feel like in my personal life, that's definitely like how I just am naturally, but trying to package it and make it like a product or something is like, okay, how do I advertise this, and how do I create a structured program? I don't want us to just be sitting on Zoom talking, or, you know, I want us to have that, but I also want there to be some structure so we can say, hey, you started here when we first started, and then you ended up here. Now you're not, you know, completely healed, but you have some tools that you probably weren't aware of, you know, when we started, and creating like a 4-week program.
I love it.
We meet once a week. You know, I give you homework, and it's like what you were saying, though, if you're not doing it, then I can't keep working with you, you know, all love, but it doesn't look like you're ready to break the cycle, actually.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know.
So, when did you have this epiphany that you wanted to take everything that you have experienced in your own personal healing journey and turn it into something that you are doing as a service and an experience and products for others?
I feel like it was somewhere within these last couple of years. I would just be talking with people, and especially with COVID and when all of that was happening, there was a lot of panic within my friend group. And I guess like just connecting with people and talking with people and feeling that feeling of like joy when I could give them some sort of small, you know, advice or anything like that. And it was just be like, thank you, I appreciate that. And I'm like, I really like that I was able to give you that. Like, I like that. That feels really good. You know, I was studying psychology before, but I stopped because the route didn't feel exactly like what I wanted. But being able to talk to people and, you know, have that like, hey, I really appreciate what you said. That really meant a lot to me. You know, I did that meditation you suggested, and that really helped me. And I'm like, this just feels like something that's natural to me. So if I could just do this all the time, that would be wonderful.
You can. So let me ask you, what are you doing right now?
As far as work? Right now, I actually don't work. I'm a student. I was going to school for acupuncture right now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And are you going to continue doing acupuncture?
I think so. I'm kind of on the fence with it, but because I like the connecting and the healing aspect of it, but I just feel my passion is right here. And whenever I'm doing this, like this is where it takes nothing from me to be here and creating this and thinking about it. I feel like acupuncture is beautiful, but I feel like I would be doing a disservice to the medicine if my heart wasn't fully in it. And I feel like this is where my heart is.
Okay. So I only ask you that because I'm just wondering, by studying acupuncture in that modality, does it give you a bit of structure that also serves what you're going to build at the same time? Not an either or, but is there, like, sometimes in life, it's important to say, I'm just doing this. And sometimes it's powerful to figure out an and. And so I don't know if in the wheelhouse of, you know, don't think about right now, 5 years from now, when you have a vision for what you want to be doing, would that training be helpful?
I think it would be very helpful because there's so many things about like your emotions that play into, you know, being stuck in the body and things.
I do too. See, my instinct tells me that there's something about acupuncture that's actually triggering past trauma.
Yes. Yes.
Is that accurate?
Yes, I believe, no, yes, it can, like if you have shoulder pain.
I mean, for you.
Oh, I don't know. Actually, you know what? Yes, because acupuncture is very much, you become very conscious of your body and the things that your body is doing. And I guess it brings me to this place of conscious awareness of my body in a way that I probably wasn't before. So it can bring up like emotions that I didn't know that I was still holding on to because of the training that I'm getting. I'm much more aware of like, oh, you know, neck pain or shoulder pain and understanding even what that means. So, yeah.
Well, I think that there's And, do I have permission to go a little bit deeper with you?
Definitely.
So, have you been the victim of sexual abuse?
Yes.
And did you possum, like leave your body and disassociate when it happened?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Me too.
Mhm.
So what I find to be really interesting about being a survivor of sexual abuse is that I can literally trace back to that experience of being in the 4th grade and waking up with an older kid on top of me
Mhm.
as a stored traumatic response, right? I'm in a very safe, peaceful space as I'm sleeping.
Mhm.
I wake up, full alarm. I disassociate because of what was happening.
Mhm.
I wake up every morning in that state, still
Mhm.
as a 53-year-old woman.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I connected the dots that is a traumatic experience that is stored in my nervous system and my brain that I've been able to now do the work to not have that be my everyday default experience.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that there is something about being a acupuncturist
Mhm.
that requires you to be fully present and empowered in your body.
Definitely.
And
Yes.
even to take energy and channel it through your body into somebody else. And it's also very intimate.
Mhm.
And so my personal opinion, and you're welcome to take this opinion and flush it down the toilet.
Okay.
But my personal opinion is that there is something in this training
Mhm.
that is going to be an enormous breakthrough for you personally,
Mhm.
for your own power, and for the knowledge that you're gaining
Mhm.
in your own healing and also in this modality,
Mhm.
which can be an important modality for people in trauma.
Yeah.
And so I just am putting that out there because I felt called to say it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that a lot. I'm still I'm coming up on midterms and all of that right now. And as I'm, thinking about what type of business I want to start, I feel like I started to forget how useful acupuncture is when you are dealing with, healing, trauma in the body, because it does exist in the body,
And here's the other thing that's really cool is that you can create your core business, which might be a monthly membership program. It might be a 4-week seminar. It might be evergreen courses that teach people basics about this. It might be something else entirely. What's going to happen when you start putting this content out and when you start offering this business and these services that you are called to do is people are going to be like, okay, so what acupuncturist do you recommend? What do you do with this? What do you do with that? And so you can develop relationships, referral networks that also earn you money because you trust these businesses and you're sending them business.
Yeah.
And so this might also be, part of the business model down the road. Here's my best piece of advice.
Okay.
When you're noodling, because I can feel like my like imagery, if I were to close my eyes, is that you literally are like bringing in all this stuff and you're just sort of cooking up something amazing, and you're like bringing in all these ingredients and you're trying to figure out what is it that I'm going to make with all this.
Yeah.
When I have been in that kind of energetic space, especially in business, the single best tool that has helped me with clarity is to look around and see whose business or whose work am I jealous of? And for you, who is out in the world doing something that you're like, ooh, I wish I had thought of that. Ooh, I love what they're doing.
Anybody, honestly, that I see in the business of empowering other people to step into their power and to heal themselves and get
What
out
about
of
in the trauma space?
I really don't. No, I follow a woman. Her name is Teal Swan. I really appreciate her approach to trauma. I
Yeah.
love her. Like, I have a lot of her books. I watch, I'm a part of her community online. So definitely her and her approach to trauma and her personal stories with trauma, and the way she's taken the things that she's gone through and built on top of it. And she's not ashamed of it. Yeah, definitely her.
Okay, terrific.
Mhm.
So what I want you to do is I want you to also get super mindful.
Mhm.
And I want you to become, you're a student right now of acupuncture. I want you to become a student of people who have created businesses
Mhm.
around trauma.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there are going to be a lot of people you don't like too.
Yeah.
And that's important data, everybody.
Yeah.
Because you'll be like, oh, I wouldn't want to do it like that.
Mhm.
Oh, this one's a little righteous.
Mhm.
Oh, this community is not very inclusive. Oh, these people are all like fancy therapists, but none of them like, they've got the little t trauma. Not like little t trauma is like still trauma, but still like, come on now. Like, or I like these folks because like I want you to give yourself permission to take social media and just stalk everybody. You should for sure be following Dr. Nicole, the holistic psychologist.
Okay.
For sure.
I think, I do follow her actually.
And the reason why I say that is because all she wanted to do was to put out information that a lot of traditional therapy practices are not, about how you have the power to heal yourself. And her social media account exploded. And then all she did was say, why don't we have a meetup at the beach near where I live in Venice? And like 600 people showed up for a meditation.
Oh, wow.
And that's what gave her the idea of, oh my God, we need to create a monthly community. And it all happened organically. And so I'm going to go back to the very, very beginning when I also talked with Alexis about, no, I don't want a needle in a haystack mindset.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to invert this because you're the person that you're the most inspired by, Tilla, right?
Teal Swan.
Teal Swan. Oh, Teal Swan. Okay, gotcha. You're inspired by the fact that she shares her story.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have to start doing that more widely.
Yeah.
Okay, what just happened? Because you can't you could go the route of getting a master's or a social work degree.
Yeah.
Or becoming an integration therapist on the MAPS protocol with the new psychedelic training.
Yeah.
And you can talk about trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can really turn yourself inside out and share your lived experience and what worked for you.
I think that's a wonderful idea. And it's definitely something that I've felt. And I think my thing is, I am a victim of child abuse, and me and my mother are rebuilding our relationship. So I would feel, even though that is like the biggest trauma for me. So I think I would feel like I was embarrassing her or shaming her by sharing my story so publicly.
This is the other reason why I'm going to recommend that you really kind of go back and look historically through some of Dr. Nicole's posts, because she had the same issue with her mother.
Okay. Yeah.
And her mother was mortified when she started talking about her mother's mental illness and the abuse. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's another opportunity here. Mm-hmm. Which is maybe even your mom being part of the story.
Yeah. That would be wonderful. Actually, that's something we've been talking about a lot these days.
Yeah. And, again, you don't have to do this tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You are in the perfect place at the perfect time. You're asking all the right questions. You could absolutely create a membership business or a 4-week program or an evergreen course that is literally, and all of it is right here in B School in terms of the simple funnel. where you share a little bit of your story and you do a
Yeah.
4-week course that people can take on demand, and you can set up a little business that way.
Yeah.
That could become a very big business.
Yeah.
And that's one way to get started without doing something that triggers things you don't want to open up.
Yeah. I'm definitely a lot more open about it when I talk to people, even just talking to you guys, very open about it. I think it's the idea of, I think, you know what? I think there is a way to tell the story that comes up that it's not tactful, but there is an empowering way to tell the story that doesn't have to be so traumatic for me or the other people involved. There's a way to tell. There's probably a way to go about telling the story, a truthful way, but a way where I'm not, she did this to me. Like, no, like there's aspects to everything.
Yeah. And here's the thing. By not telling the story, you're actually not helping her either.
Yeah.
And you would tell the story in a way that makes her just face the truth.
Yeah.
Which is, if she could go back and do it over, she would go back and do it differently. And that she deeply regrets doing to you probably what was done to her. And that perhaps in talking about it openly, in a way, as you suggested, that's super respectful.
Yes.
Perhaps that is so empowering for her because she gets to be a part of breaking that cycle.
Yes. I definitely agree with that. And yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So what's the big takeaway that you just got?
I feel like I have a lot more clarity on the group that I feel like I want to be a voice for. I feel like it is very important for me to share my story and figuring out a way to do that so as to integrate it and put the heart in there for people's and like my story might be very, very, very similar to another person or another, woman or, man. And to study people, to get online and to find people that are doing the work that I aspire to. And take notes.
Awesome. Great job.
Great.
All right. Well done, LaToya. All right, Kathy, Wright, you're next.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
So tell us a little bit about your business, Kathy.
Well, I don't have one yet. I've been kind of stuck in corporate America for over 25 years and just I feel kind of stuck and like I'm not using my God-given talents, I guess, to help other people. And I just don't have a lot of passion in what I do. So
What do you want to do?
Life coaching, actually.
Phenomenal. Okay, great. So how can I help you? You've come to the right place.
Well, because I'm in the very beginning stages of that, just figured it out a few weeks ago and then got into B school. I didn't know what you would suggest as far as training, as far as courses or, there's so much out there on the internet I don't know where to start.
Okay. So I've got a lot to say about this. And this is relevant for everything that you all are going through. So number one, I want you to do a little bit of journaling about that stuck feeling that you felt and what finally got you to sign up for B School.
Okay.
Because jumping in and committing that kind of money and time was what I would call a wake-up moment, where you finally went from stuck to, I'm no longer going to tolerate this. I'm doing something.
Yes.
And a life coach, in my opinion, there are two kinds of life coaches. There are life coaches that cause wake-up moments and breakthroughs, which is what you just described. And that's exactly what I do. I launch people. And then there are accountability life coaches that are really good at systems and accountability that hold somebody's hand through the process of implementing that change. And with Alexis's business, kind of a longer term holding, so even though your system might be you pay me as you go, your intention is I'm really good at process, organization, accountability, and creating structure for people. Which end of the spectrum do you think you are? Oh, she just freeze? Kathy. Oh, you just froze for a minute. Which end of the spectrum do you think you are?
Hang on, I lost you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Where did you lose me, hon?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Everything just froze.
No problem. So there are two kinds of life coaches, in my opinion. There are those that are at the very beginning, which is this wake up moment. And you're in somebody's life to launch them into something.
Right.
And then and that's the camp that I'm in. And neither one is right or wrong. It's just that I've noticed this over the last 20 years. And then there's a second group of coaches that are really geniuses at accountability. So you know what you want, but I'm hiring this life coach to coach me over the course of the next year to make sure that I get it done. And so do you have a sense of which one is more your genius?
Not really, not yet.
Good. You don't need to. Second thing is I asked you to journal about what it felt like to be stuck and about that moment you decided to jump into this course, because that feeling of stuckness is what every client that's going to hire you is currently feeling.
Right.
And the moment that you jumped in is actually what you're trying to cause in somebody. So whether it's courage or motivation or inspiration or frustration, like some force, that's what your job is in somebody's life. And so I think kind of getting that down on paper so you really can stay in tune with that is important.
Okay.
Now, let me tell everybody, here is my opinion about what certifications you should and shouldn't have, or you should and shouldn't take. At the end of the day, any certification or degree that you get is supposed to give you the information that you need so that you can launch this business or deliver this service. And if it's an area that requires a license, like you can't inspect somebody's house unless you're a licensed housing inspector. You can't do somebody's nails unless you have a license. Like there's certain jobs that just require you to get a certification. In areas like life coaching, I personally am not certified as a life coach. I trained with somebody who has a big life coaching business, but I trained with her way before she ever trained other coaches and had a business doing it. And here's the interesting thing about certifications. The certification that you need is the one that's going to make you feel the most qualified and the most confident in selling what you do.
Okay.
I could literally print out, based on your years in corporate, Mel Robbins certifies Kathy as a life coach, and print it off for you and hand it to you.
Right.
The question is, will that make you comfortable selling yourself? And I'm going to break this down a little bit more. If you're somebody that is interested, for example, let's say, what do you do in the corporate world?
It's medical claims.
Oh, okay. So let's just say that, you've been in the medical claims industry for a long time. You've always been interested in HR. You had a big, whatever. Let's say you wanted to focus on doing coaching inside of corporations. That might mean you want to get a coaching degree over the course of 6 weekends at a university's business school, which, by the way, they offer those things because you want to be able to walk into a business and say, oh, I took the weekend course at University of Michigan or, University of South Dakota, and I've got my certification right here because it makes you feel more confident. I will tell you, in the history of coaching people, not a single person has asked me where I trained. Not even when I got started and I didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
That's not to suggest that you should blow off training, because it's so cool to become a student in something that you really want to master and launch a business in. That's an incredible gift to give to yourself. But when asking what's the right one, I can't actually tell you. You need to look at what they're teaching. You need to look at the kind of folks that are taking it. You need to look at the kind of businesses that those folks have. And then you need to say, what's going to make me feel empowered? And what I will tell you, and we can check our notes a year or two from now, is that people will hire you because you emit an energy and a confidence that they want. Your belief in the system that you have, even if the system is simply, I talk to you for an hour and I yell at you and then I pretend to fire you.
Right.
That's what people are hiring when they hire a coach. But the opportunity for you is to figure out what you actually need.
Do you think I need a social media to get exposure?
No,
Once I feel
no. I think what you need first is just get into a program so you feel excited by what you're studying.
okay.
So I think you're in the land of, I know what I want, and now I'm thinking a lot about it. And just do the next right step. Find a program, because I think you'll love the structure and it'll make you feel like it's legitimate.
Right.
And then you can figure out the marketing stuff.
Okay. I can do that.
Yes, you can. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to, is it Nartum? How do I say I don't want to, How do I say your name? Nartum?
Kia ora. Mariana is actually my name.
Oh, Mariana. Hi, how are you?
My apologies. I'm actually on my work Zoom here, and NATAM is an acronym for the national organisation that I'm chairman of. So,
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Morena from New Zealand, everybody.
So tell us about your business.
Oh my gosh. Right. Here's a lady who has in the past self-sabotaged, you name it, got distractions. Lots of distractions while building, whilst knowing that I really wanted to create something for myself, for my family, and whānau, and to be of absolute service, but in a different way. I've been a teacher for 38 years. I'm in my 4th year as an advisor to Māori medium schools. Love, love, love my job, which is joy of being, because I can be who I be. Now I go into schools and I sprinkle my little fairy dust, help teachers teach through the medium Māori language, and then, like all care and no responsibility, right? Been there, done that. I'm over that, especially with the climate. Now, having what's called hybrid learning now, with working with students and teachers online, and some face-to-face contact. And I love that. Right, business. I wrote, thank you so much to the previous beautiful Wahine ladies who have shared before. And I'm furiously writing. Oh, okay, here's one for you, Mel. How do I pop all my talent, skills, my energy, my little Mediana magic here? I have got pages on Facebook. I've got Hot Hula Fitness, Law of Attraction New Zealand, Older Smolder, because I have this thing about, I'm in my 64th year, I'm starting a bloody business. It's like, shit, where do I go after having been in a structured system where a bell tells you where to go to the next class and all of that. How do I do this? I'm doing this on my own. So carrying on, Mist Maiden Coaching Solutions, Mist Maiden, and you talk about names like, yeah, I don't know, would people remember Mediana Tapatu Coaching? I have no idea. I'm going to have a play with that. So I am a coach, a life coach. I've been studying. I'm the forever student. I've been studying whilst working full time. I'm a celebrant. I do body work. I'm a massage therapist. And yes, and I've been practicing on my whānau, on my teachers, all of this stuff.
Let me ask you a question, because I think you're amazing.
Thank you.
And I also think that you are a multi-passionate person. And you would probably not be happy if you tried to just put yourself in a singular lane.
Oh, right.
Yep. And so I just want to try to parse through some of this so that I can offer some clarity as to what the next right step is. When you say you're done with all that in terms of working in the schools, are you retiring? Are you leaving that job? Or are you just tired of it?
I love my job.
Okay.
I so am not thinking of retiring.
Okay.
Yeah. However, I feel that at the time that I spent working full time, I really just want to be able to to make a difference in people's lives. Okay. So, and just devote my time to that. I'm just done with working for the government. I'm grateful for the salary that I get. That's what I'm done with, because the constraints, the compliances that I see principals of schools are under, who are also putting pressure on teachers now in classrooms.
But you're going to stay in that job, right?
I'm going to stay in the job of going into, that's what I'm doing now. I go in and help the teachers. And you know what? They say, Mediana, can you come and help me do a reading lesson, say? We end up talking about their lives and how they be with their children. And we've done nothing about reading. That's what I'm
not surprised. I'm not surprised. So here's what I want to tell you. First of all, you're already making a difference. Everywhere you go, you make a difference. The question is, because you're so lovely, what do you actually want to use B School for? What are you frustrated by? What do you want to launch?
I've got amazing content in all those areas that I am passionate about. I'm scared of the systems. I think I read in my question, the emailing, the funnels, the platforms, and I have to admit, I still have this thing about age, because I see all these young things, 30 plus, 40 plus, doing it, doing what I want to do. And I go, no, Mediana, stay in your job. Shit, you're too old,
That's a bunch of horse shit. I mean, so here's the thing.
I know that too, right?
Here's the thing. Stop. Here, I'm going to simplify this for you. You can't do all that stuff at once. Mm-hmm. You should continue doing what you do in schools because you're amazing at it. They need you. It lights you up. You come alive when you talk about it. And acknowledge that that's a place where you go to make an impact, because you do. Those kids feel seen by you. What I want you to do is this. I want you to pick one social media platform. Just one. What social media platform? Because you say content. The easiest way to publish content is to do it on a social media platform. And people that are interested in that kind of content will find you. And this is a huge thing I want everybody to hear me say. Your social media platform, it is not for your friends. It is not for your family. Your social media platform is a form of your self-expression. And the faster that you give yourself permission to be your full self on social media and post what you're thinking and what you like and what you want to talk about without giving a shit about what anybody in your family or your friend group thinks. The faster you look at your social media as a form of self-expression, you are all artists. The way that you think is a form of art. The videos that you would put up, a form of art. The blog posts that you write, a form of art. Do not be editing yourself. And I think that you've got so much that you're interested in. The only thing that I want to give you in terms of an organizing principle, because I don't want all this spinning up here. I want you to have an outlet for it. I want you to create a social media channel, whether it's your name or it's just, and you're going to start with one follower or however many followers you have, and just put out a piece of content every day. One day it could be about life coaching. The next day it could be the muffins you're baking. The next day it could be you in the front seat of your car having just come out of the class and you're sitting there and you're like, I just had the best session with these kids. I was supposed to teach them this. You know what we talked about? We talked about how important it is to wear what you want to wear to school and not worry. And I think we adults need this message too. Like you're frustrated because you have this enormous capacity to share because you are an artist. That's what you are. And you are trying to figure out where to aim it. And I'm telling you, if you were to just create a system of every day, I'm going to give myself permission to say whatever the hell I want to say about whatever I want to say it about. I don't care if my friends unfollow me. I don't care if my family doesn't. And I don't care what the 30-year-olds are saying. That's what I'm going to do. And I would pick the simplest platform, just the one that calls to you. If TikTok calls to you, do that one. If Instagram calls to you, do that one. There is no right platform. The only thing that's right is you picking what feels right for you, because that's going to get you started. See, I think you have a bottleneck.
Yeah, I have one. And since I signed up for B School, I've changed its name, Miss Maiden Coaching. And
great.
I've had that for a few years, but I've been posting other people's quotes, feel good stuff, Rumi.
Here's what I want you to do. You ready? This is going to push you right over the edge. You ready?
Great. I'm ready.
Do you follow, I want you to follow, oh shit, what's her name? She's so amazing. Tabitha Brown. Do you follow Tabitha Brown?
No.
Okay. Follow Tabitha Brown on Instagram. And I want you to go back like a year or two. Tabitha Brown was a struggling actress and she went viral because she's vegan and she got a vegan like egg wrap or something at Whole Foods. And she literally is eating it in the front seat of her car. And I'm sure we can find the link to it. And like basically has almost like a verbal orgasm over this vegan thing. And the internet goes nuts because she's just being herself. And as more and more people followed her, she started just going online, live on Instagram and being like, hi guys, like just talking to them the way that you would talk to your kids. And I think that, yeah, you can post other people's quotes all you want, go for it. But I think you'll have a huge breakthrough and people will really find you if you just turn that camera on live on Instagram and you see what happens.
Share. During our first COVID 2020, I was called to do 3-minute lives on my Facebook page. I called them, now listen to this, ladies, 3-minute quick ease with Mediana. Say quick ease really fast.
Quickies. Quickie, like a quickie?
3-minute quickies with Mediana. Each day I would post a thought, because I really felt the energy of heaviness, anger, frustration throughout.
Wait, you need to do that again.
Yeah. I get that. I'll do that again. And there'll be.
No, I think you need to do that every single day for a year.
Do that. Thank you.
And I'm going to tell you why. You're going to continue to spin unless you create a little simple discipline and rhythm to your week.
Yes.
And you're going to continue to jump from one thing to the next, and that's okay. You can jump from one thing to the next in the post content. But literally for a year, until the end of this year, I want you to commit to posting something from the heart, whatever you're called to say. And that's the only system I want you to manage. And something extraordinary will come forward if you do that.
Yeah, that already I feel at ease.
Why?
It's the clarity and just doing one thing, Mediana, at a time, and doing that consistently. It's like I
That's
really
it. Make it easy.
Not a very good relationship with this thing.
Make it easy. Once a day, post what you're thinking. Got it?
Got it. Thank you so much.
Good.
Thank you,
All right,
everybody.
Elena, you're next.
Hi.
Hi.
So, okay, Mel, I sent you such a long message and I was thinking, okay, what should I say? Let's start with, I think these informations are, these are necessary so that everyone understands it better. So, I'm Elena, I'm 33 and I'm an illustration artist, and a little bit of a backstory. So starting with the sad stuff first. So my parents, my parents passed away, my dad in 2018 and my mother in 2019. 2 traumas for me, but therapy is going really, really well. So I'm good. I left my work field. I have a bachelor in educational science. So in German, it's Pädagogik in English, I don't know.
Yep.
And I opened my own online shop in January 2021. Where I sell my illustrations and stuff. And I now have an exhausting part-time job, a cleaning part-time job, because I have to pay my bills. I have to live. And 12 hours a week. Like I said, really exhausting, but it's fine. That's
well, you also said though that you literally have no debt and you have savings, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to point out to everybody.
Yeah.
I have a terrible habit of focusing on what's going wrong. You're not giving yourself enough credit.
Me?
Let me tell you, Elena, a different way to tell that story. I lost my mom and dad, devastating. And I'm really proud of myself, which you did say, because I've done a tremendous amount of work and I've pulled myself up by my bootstraps and I sell my illustrations online. And you know what? Even though it's a lot of work, 12 hours a week, I work this job cleaning. It's enough to pay my bills. It gives me time to do other things. I have no debt. I have savings. And this girl has some big dreams. And that's why I signed up for B School.
Exactly.
And when I read your thing, you want to be a travel blogger, it sounds like.
Yes. Right.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Does that scare you?
Not at all. I'm pushing myself quite a lot. Even before my parents passed, I had the goal, okay, I want to make my illustration job and so on. But here's the thing.
Tell me the thing.
I'm doing this since, like I said, I mean, I draw 4 more years now, but I started the online business 2021. So
yeah.
And I'm not making that much income. Sometimes there are months where I'm making nothing. And that's totally fine because I'm at the beginning. I also have, that's also good to know. I have an Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. I love making videos. I'm learning so much. I started TikTok. I have my homepage. I'm writing blog posts. Mel, I also wrote a blog post about you.
Oh. I'll have to read it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because there's a huge theme here. You guys noticing the theme with everybody? You guys all have lots of stuff going on. And that's an important thing if you need to have a lot of stuff going on to make ends meet.
Mm.
And I love that you're saying that your illustrations and that store is at the very beginning of the process. And that's going to take time. That's true. But here's what I don't hear. What do you want your life to look like?
I want this to go pretty well. I want to be able, like I wrote, I want to be able to travel. And my goal is to make this happen next year. And
So what do you mean by travel? See, the other thing I'm going to keep pointing out to everybody is that before you can figure out the plan or the map to get where you want to go, you got to pick your head up and point at what you want. And the more specific the destination, the better. It is impossible to give you great guidance and coaching if I don't know exactly what you want. Because here's the thing, if you really wanted life where you travel, I can tell you 10 travel bloggers that you should follow. You can stalk their stories, and with your skills, you could probably be making money and doing that full time in a matter of 3 to 6 months. Because there are magazines that are looking for freelancers to do that. Once you get with one hotel, they connect you with another hotel. Once you start tagging people, cafes, it is one of those things that builds. You've told me you have no debt, that you have savings, that you have a job that is 12 hours a week that is not keeping you somewhere. So what do you actually want?
I know when I do this next year. So my first goal is to go to Japan again for 3 months.
Okay.
And I know that at my part-time job, they won't let me go and say, okay, it's unpaid vacation. And when you come back here, you can start again. So I know, okay, it's kind of.
So here's what's interesting. You ready? Yeah. I'm going to push you a little bit.
Yeah, please.
Do you is that house that you're sitting in a place that you own that you have to pay for?
Nope, it's a flat. And it's the flat of my best friend. And I have to pay such less money.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Your whole life is organized around what's happening at this 12-hour week job.
Yes, exactly.
Do you know why I'm pointing that out?
No.
We are in the single best job market in 40 years.
What was my best job?
No. This is the best job market in 40 years. People cannot find people to work.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to tell you is that you're organizing your entire life around a part-time job.
I know where you're going.
Where am I going?
Yeah, I have the exact same thought. They are
no, but where am I
jobs.
going? Where am I going? I'm going to push you.
There are shitty jobs out there everywhere. I can.
There's a shitty job in Japan waiting for you.
Yeah, everywhere. I know. Yeah.
Your issue is courage.
Yeah. That's fun because courage is one of my things that I'm keeping pushing myself. Okay. Yeah.
Prove it.
Yeah. That's right.
I have a feeling that you holding on to where you are has to do with grieving.
Grieving and maybe, okay, my because I have a partner and he also lives here. But I think we can maybe hopefully figure something out.
Elena?
Yeah.
Hope is for children on Christmas morning who hope that they're going to get a certain present. You are a 33-year-old brilliant woman who has taken control of her healing, who has figured out how to set up an entire business around your illustrations. You have paid off your debt. You have savings. We are no longer in a game of hope. We are in the business of creating a life that's amazing. And that begins the moment you wake up and go, what the fuck am I doing? I'm worried about this job. I am going to call a meeting tonight with my partner and I'm going to say, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We are going to reinvent our lives. Fuck it. Let's figure out how to go to Japan for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Because this shitty job's going to be here and so is this flat when we decide we don't like it. And if I burn through my savings trying to figure something out because I can't figure out how to make that work, then I'll just save more money.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose.
I'm writing courage big on
courage. And courage means action.
Yeah.
You're going to feel afraid, but this is the day.
No, that's normal growth.
You're not going to grow in that flat. And you're not going to grow next year. And I'm not going to allow you to wait another year.
Yeah. And this is exactly what I'm feeling. Every time I wake up, I'm doing my stuff and I'm doing quite a lot of stuff. And I wrote it also to you. Wait, let me point this out.
I saw it. I don't need this. You don't need that. I don't need this story. I don't care how much you're doing. You're doing the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
I'm fucking busy too. And for a long time, it was the wrong stuff, which is why I was miserable.
The only thing I felt why I feel so, why I ask you if it's a naive or so, because I'm not making that much income or not at all income now. This is
who cares? Who cares? So you're not making a lot of income, which only means if you stay in the place that you're in, you're going to stay trapped because you don't have enough income. You're not going to have enough income next year either.
Yeah.
Take a risk. Live a little. You can come back to this.
Yeah. This was exactly what I was feeling the whole time.
Well, I hope this is exactly what you do.
Yeah.
Because feeling it, unless it activates action, you might as well just fart because it doesn't do anything. Like it just is like, you need to get frustrated and say, I'm done with this. I am sick of myself. In fact, let's pick a date right now. What day are you going to Japan or going to another country or quitting this job? Give me the day. Let's commit publicly right now. It's March 22nd.
March or April.
Give me a date. Let's pull the calendar.
Okay, let's say April the 1st.
April 1st? Hell yes. All right, great. You're going to keep
Okay.
us posted on where you're doing and what your plan is.
I will.
Will you put Glow Autonomo, her account in the in Instagram? Thank you. She started travel blogging, I think 7 years ago. And really amazing woman, really good friend of mine, super inspiring.
Okay.
Love her. She'll give you
Okay.
tips. And I think on her YouTube channel, she's got all kinds of stuff about how to get started. She's killer.
I also haven't found an illustrator who does this because I would love to.
Great. So, see,
Incorporate both.
listen, I think your ideas are incredible. Go do them.
Okay.
Here's an illustration. You ready?
Yeah.
Give us an illustration of the moment that you got off your ass and quit that job. And then give us an illustration of you like buying the plane ticket. And then give us an illustration of how scared you are as you see the savings go down a little. And then give us an illustration of what your partner looks like when he's like, wait, what? We're going where? And then give us an illustration of your first day in Japan.
Yeah.
And then give us take us on the journey with you.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. You're awesome.
Thank you.
I can't wait.
You're
Wow.
awesome.
Okay, Joyce, you're up, Joyce. Woo! And if anybody has got to go because you have kids, will you let Amy know so we can get you up in the queue? Because I'm going to go till we get to everybody. So we probably have another hour or so. All right, Joyce, take your mic off, baby.
I started with coaching maybe 10 years ago, but I lacked confidence in myself or what I was selling. And so I never made any money coaching. You know,
Okay.
I just kept going to groups and like Brendan and some of those others. And I
Yep.
just kept going, thinking
Okay.
it was going to happen. Well,
Okay.
about the first of the year, I had a really, I was introduced to grief for the first time.
Okay.
And I just said, grief is wonderful about eliminating all the chatter around you. So I just said, okay, I'm stopping everything. So I quit every program I was in. I sat down and I said, okay, what do I like about my life? Well, I have a podcast. I've had it for 8 years. And it's always been about women in transition. And it's called Second Wind with Joyce. So I love doing that. So my natural inclination is to go into speaking because I like being in front of audience, telling the story. But my audience is still about the transformation. But because I have continued to age, so has my group that I want to support. And I see this group of 50s, 60s that go through reevaluating who they are, finding their identity. They've never found their identity because they inherited it. And now they're faced with, what do I do now? I've lost my partner. I've lost, who am I? So
Is that what happened to you?
no, I divorced when I was 50.
Who did you lose recently?
My ex-husband and my sister.
Okay.
So, anyway,
Are you
business.
What did you say, hon?
How do I make a business?
I don't get the sense that you want to be doing this. I get the sense, just hear me out.
Yep.
I get the sense that you feel like you should. And what I want you to really just hang with me for a second.
Yep.
I love personal development. If I didn't have a business around personal development, I would just constantly go to seminars and I'd listen to podcasts and I would consume it because I love it. It makes me feel human. It makes me feel connected to other people. It makes me, in moments, feel in touch with something larger in life. And there's something that is bigger than a podcast or coaching or speaking. And there's more of a, I just get the sense with you that there's more of a calling. And that's why it's not turning into a business. There is a desire to serve. There's a desire to support. There's a desire to connect. And what is coming up for me, maybe it's because my husband is going through this training, but he's going through the training to be a death doula.
Mm.
And I don't know if that's what you would do, but there's something like, to me, you love the podcast the most.
Mm-hmm.
What do you love about it?
Interaction with people, sharing the story. Their stories are all about how life is better after the trauma because of the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like sharing that message. So
I feel, I don't know. What's your reaction to what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with some of it. You know, I agree that I have a bigger purpose. And I've started writing because somebody said to me, well, you're grieving. Why don't you write? And I went, duh. You know, it had to come from outside of me. So I started writing. I'm enjoying that very much. So anyway.
Okay. Do you have to make money?
You know,
be honest.
No.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
But let me tell you this. I've always, from childhood, money is a measurement to me.
Of what?
I'm making money.
Of what? What is money a measurement of?
Success.
Bullshit.
Well, it's for me, it's my belief.
I think you need to change your belief.
Well, maybe.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because you say you value it.
Mm-hmm.
And yet your actions don't tell me that you do. Your actions tell me that you value connection, and you value purpose, and you value making a difference.
Right.
I think somebody else made you feel like it wasn't successful, or what you're doing is not helpful or big enough if there isn't money attached to it.
That's probably true.
That's 100% true.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not fun to have money, and I'm not saying it's not fun to make money. I love making money. I love building shit. I love all that stuff. But I will never be able to coach you in how to make money if in your heart you actually don't care about it. And I don't think you do. I think that somewhere back in history, you got it in your head that you're only successful if you're making money. And that's horseshit. You're successful if you are happy with who you are, and if you are happy with the life that you're living. That is what success is. If you get to spend your days on a podcast, talking to people, making a difference, you are a very successful person, particularly if you don't have to worry about whether or not it makes money. And so what I want you to do is I want you to go to work on dismantling this notion of what a successful life looks like and what your worth is.
Yep.
You are wildly successful. Tell me why that's true.
because I make a difference.
Fuck yes. That's right, Joyce. That's right. You focus on that and you show up with that energy on that podcast and you show up with that energy with the women you're talking to. And trust me, if money's supposed to fall out of the sky, it will land in your lap. There is a reason why you haven't done it. Because deep in your soul, you know that's not what matters. You know what matters is what you're already doing. And I want you to launch yourself into a new chapter where you honor that and where you truly celebrate the fact that every day we have been given the gift of Joyce. Joyce has the ability to wake up every fucking day and make a difference in someone's life. Joyce has the ability to sit with people that are grieving and help them understand that grief is so important because actually what you're present to is all the love that you feel. And Joyce has the ability to get people to talk about their trauma. And that's helping everybody. That is such a beautiful thing, Joyce. It is a gift that we have all been given that you can do that.
Thank you.
What are you getting from this?
Oh, about tears. I always have tears. I'm just getting more permission just to sit back and enjoy life.
Yes.
And
Yes.
stay out of my head. Probably.
Yeah. You deserve to enjoy your life. I'm trying to learn that lesson too. And, suffering can become a habit. And it would be really wonderful if you could lead by example and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Beautiful job, Joyce. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, we're going to skip down to Rebecca Whitney because I think Rebecca needs to hop. And then we're going to go to Scarlett. Is it Scarlett? How do I say your name? And then we'll go to Tanya. And then we're going to go to Kimberly and Anne Marie. And then all you folks with your cameras off, you're not going to hide from me. Okay, Rebecca Whitney.
Hi, Mel. How are
Hi.
you? Thank you for doing this with us. You were my trigger that made me say, I'm going to do B school. I saw you jump on and do your thing on YouTube. And then Maria was like, it's only once a year. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. And I literally had just scored $2,000 from my sister to get a space outside of my living situation that I really needed, but I decided to put it into B school and see what happened there.
Awesome.
And yeah, so I sent you a note. I'm not sure what to talk to you about because my question had to do with, I remember your origin story of when your husband's restaurant went down and you were at the store with the shaky hand and the card and on top
Right.
of it all, your friends were in the business and you were kind of hiding from everybody that you were in this personal struggle and then still trying to show up, as in your cover versions. I'm sort of in that situation right now. I kind of had a life crisis about 8 months ago and I'm living with my ex-husband right now and my daughter in his apartment. And I've just been kind of trying to figure out which way to go, looking for a job, and then also splitting the difference between sort of starting my own business. I've been obsessed with all these new tools we have to make money online.
Yeah.
So I've been like, ooh, how can I do
Okay.
that? And
I want to help you. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're in the middle of a life crisis, everybody, when your life blows up and you find yourself in the ocean with like pieces of the boat all around, look for a fucking life preserver or a raft. Okay. So I want to applaud you for doing what needed to be done when the you know what hit the fan. Okay.
Yeah.
And that same instinct is what is going to make you successful. The second thing that I want to tell you is once you get a hold of that life raft, you want to grab something else that floats, right? And get yourself out of that water. And so I am glad to hear that you're looking for a job.
Yeah.
And what I would recommend is I would recommend not pretending about the situation that you're in. There is no shame in going to a job interview and at the end of it saying, and I'm asking you for this job. And the reason why I'm asking you for this job is not only because I am going to be incredible at it and you're never going to regret it, but I actually need it. I'm in a really tight jam. I had a life crisis happen. I never thought at the age of 55 I'd be in this situation, and I need the work and I want the work, which means I'm going to show up here every single day and I am going to work the heck out of this job. I've never wanted a job more than I want a job right now. And you should tell your friends that this is what you're going through and that you need help and that you need a recommendation or you need a place to stay. And you should not do what I did, which was hide what was going on because I was so ashamed. And, I'm also going to tell you, it will take time. 5 years ago, I still had the liens on this house. 5 years ago, guys. And so it will take time for you to climb out of this, but you will climb out of this. And here's the other thing I'm going to tell you about investing in B School right now. I can't say whether or not doing this was the right thing versus doing something, a temporary living situation. What I can tell you is this: when you're in a shitstorm and when the lights go out in your life and things feel really dark and really heavy, there has always been one thing that helps me get through those moments. And it's reminding myself that this moment, like every painful moment of my life, was temporary. It passed. And when you can keep telling yourself this moment it's going to pass and it's leading me somewhere, when you can trust in that, you create your own light in that dark tunnel. And it allows you to look up. And one of the things about learning something new, like how to make money online, is that it acts like a beacon for where you're freaking going.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the power boat that gets you there right now.
I know.
Because you know what I mean? Because you need to find another freaking life jacket, which means you need to get a job. Which means you need to just keep going on these interviews. And there's no need, if you've gone on all these interviews and people are like, you're amazing, and then you don't get it, and you think it's because you're too old or you're too desperate, they say you're a consultant. Right. There's no shame in writing back and saying, I'm not sure if you filled the position, but I didn't mention that I actually need a job.
Right.
My pride got in the way. And so if you haven't filled that position, or maybe you are looking for more people, I want to make sure I'm not looking to be a consultant. I've never wanted to find a great job more than ever than this moment. There's no shame in that. What's the worst they're going to say? Yeah, we filled the job.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I've been really even just struggling to even get interviews too. And it's just a funny thing, and it's like, I did have a really great.
What did you do before?
Well, I have I was sort of a rock star visual researcher with directors, back in the day. And I took an odyssey out of that when I had my kid and went to Europe, and I had a company doing that. And recently hooked up with my old team through B School. We're starting a Pinterest collective. So I'm reactivating this whole visual research space.
Great. Let me tell you what you could do
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Project management.
I don't know, girl. I'm like the worst project manager.
Bullshit. Bullshit. You can't manage your own life. You can manage somebody else's project.
Maybe.
1,000%. 1,000%. Do not look for a job in what you used to do.
Okay.
Look for a job managing projects in any kind of company, because you just need structure and a place to go every day and a paycheck. That's like the rows on the boat rowing you ahead.
Yeah.
And you're scrappy enough, I can tell, that you'll get annoyed with that job. And then you'll start hustling even more than you are. And you'll giddy up in the other things. But you need the structure. You need to get out of the house. You need a simple paycheck. You need to do that routine for a couple months. I am telling you, it is the best job market in 4 years. I don't give a shit how old you are.
No, I love hearing that. And I get so frustrated by that because it's like
you're looking for the wrong kind of job. You're trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Yeah. I mean,
you have skills. Stop looking at industries. You have skills. You can manage things. The woman that I just hired, who's going to come on board as my executive assistant, like organize Mel, she was a graphic designer. She worked in a branding agency. She had a dog walking. She's never been an executive assistant. Why? Right. Because I just need somebody who can organize shit, who's an adult that I trust, is not going to steal from me. That's what I need. And who can boss me around.
Right. Yeah, I do. I understand it. I do think I do have the adult quality, and
of course,
I definitely I'm a pro. I mean, I honestly though, Mel, I would ruin your flights. I'm the worst. I'm not a project administrative.
Then don't take that kind of job. You're not hearing me. You have skills that you can market. Do not look for a visual organizer, needle in the haystack job. Forget that. Get your skills at the top of your resume. LinkedIn has an entire learning platform, and there is so much on there about marketing skills. That's what people are hiring right now. It's not about the industry.
Yeah, I do see that. I have 8 recruiters working for me that can't place me because it's I'm an email marketer. Everything is one skill kind of, parsed out. And
trust me, look for project management, account services, anything, honestly.
Okay.
That's just what you need. You need something. At this point, don't be picky. Just
I'm not picky.
a job.
I just feel I don't get any traction with it. It's weird. It's just a weird, I'm not.
Okay. So let me tell you something else. You ready?
Yeah.
Because I can tell you don't like the advice, which means it's exactly what you need to do.
I don't know. I'm open to doing anything, but I just wish I was good at that. I've worked with project managers and I value them.
Well, then don't be a project manager. You're missing the point.
Okay.
If you're working with recruiters, they're not going to place you in a job that's general.
Right.
80% of jobs are not even marketed. They are filled by referral.
Right.
You need to be talking to your friends. You need to be looking at the job boards on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And you need to be lowering your standards because you are in a lifeboat right now.
Right.
That's what you need to do.
Okay.
And as you lower your standards on the job front, and as you start rowing in a direction, because you now have a paycheck, you're able to get out of your ex-husband's apartment every day. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest about where you're at. And you have a rhythm to your week. That structure from that job is going to give you what you need to get going in a different direction.
Yeah.
You can't organize your thoughts because you're all over the place because you're in an emergency. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I want to tell you is you are capable of figuring this out. and you will get a job. And you will launch a new business. And you will make these things happen. And you will look back on this moment. And you will see exactly why this happened and how it helped you get somewhere awesome.
I believe that.
Excellent. Then
I
you're
totally
halfway
believe
there.
that. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thanks, Mel.
You're welcome. Being tough because I want to
Okay.
see you pull yourself up out of this.
It doesn't feel that tough. No, I'm good. That's good. I got
Okay,
this.
excellent. All right, go do it. Don't ignore my advice. All right, Scarlett, you're next.
Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi.
First, I want to say thank you because I don't know if a lot of people on here were kind of like me when we got the email. Part of me thought this was, I don't know, like maybe not going to be real, or I don't know, we were just going to get some like pre-recorded podcast or something. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time to really sit down and talk to each one of us individually. It's really great and kind of makes the decision to go with B School be like, it's real and people really care. And it's not just another one of those stupid business coaching things that someone pushes online, that they really are just pushing like some generated crap that they're really not caring and not really wanting to spend the time. So I want to say thank you very much for that, because I risked a lot. And it's weird because I've thought about business coaching before and I've never taken the jump. And for some reason I was on your podcast or whatever it was. And once again, like the other lady had said, it was like, stop saying no. If you have this feeling, you just need to jump and you need to do it now. And so I did. And so here I am. But background with me, I'm 45, just turned 45. I do run a successful dog boarding business on my farm, and I'm in my real estate office right now. So I'm a real estate agent. I love both of my businesses. I'm great at real estate. I would like to take it to the next level as far as doing like luxury real estate, but I just had a conversation with my marketing girl and I was like, look, it's not really my passion, because if real estate becomes super successful, all it does is just tie me more to this office and it takes up more of my time and gives me less of what I want, because what I want is to be more free. And the more you get successful in real estate, the more tied down you become. I have like, a slew of self-help books. And I would say when I was at my lowest, Lois Hay was a book that kind of flipped me over to get me more positive thinking and to realize that my thoughts changed my being. Being ADD, dealing with like substance abuse parents, I think it's common denominator with a lot of us, come from abuse or what have you, suffer with self-sabotage and making up excuses. Not being consistent is a huge thing for me. But with reading all of these books, I have become this kind of person that everyone starts talking like, gosh, just being around you, like I feel like anything's possible, or you're so inspiring. Not that I want to be a life coach, but one of the things I learned from reading all these books was like the first thing in the morning, you need to have a positive thought and you need to kind of carry that thought with you. Like you can do anything kind of thing. And so my business idea that I'm very, unlike a lot of these women that are kind of more all over the place, I'm kind of very narrowed in on what I want to do. And I don't know if anyone's ever bought Calvin Klein underwear or whatever, but that whole like skinless, like a very, it feels like your skin. You don't really feel like you're wearing anything, but.
Oh, you mean like that whole ad with.
Yeah, like they're like the no shows, but it's like very thin and it's like, I don't know, just a very comfortable.
I don't know that underwear, but now I'm intrigued.
Is because one of the things that they lecture is that you need to be doing something in the morning, like brushing your teeth, something that you do constantly. So I started thinking like, okay, what do I do every day? And like all of us, most of the time, put on underwear. Maybe sometimes we don't, but anyhow, I wanted some of my friends who are struggling and think I'm so successful because I was a single mom, went through 2 foreclosures on my farm, saved it, 3 kids, 50 acres, that I'm everything. And I don't know.
Are we going to call this big girl panties? Like pull your big girl panties up?
And that's kind of
are you shitting me? Is that what your business name is?
Well, no, uplifting panties is what I wanted to say. Because what I want it to be is I want it to be something that we put on, because my one girlfriend jokes with me all the time, like that I'm Wonder Woman and, put on my cape and you just feel like
I freaking love empowered. It. So what are we doing?
what I want to do is I want to have like these skinless panties that one, and the reason I got the idea is because my husband, I just got remarried 2 years ago, but when we first started dating, I wore these Lucky jeans. And if anyone wears Lucky jeans,
right, the buckle right here, baby.
When you unzip them, I love buckle jeans, but when you unzip the Lucky jeans, it says Lucky You on your zipper. And my husband thought that was like the cutest thing, you know, lucky him. He's the one unzipping my pants. The reason
lucky you when he does.
Right, exactly. So the reason I'm saying that is because it gave me a vision here recently that like, yes, like I look down and I see that. So what I wanted was to create underwear that are comfortable, that anyone can wear, all sizes, that have positive sayings on the inside, not on the outside. I don't want it on my ass where I can't see it, just somebody else can. I want it to be on the inside. So like when you go pee or you're pulling on your panties, you see, I am amazing. It's progress, not perfection.
I fucking love this.
Splendor.
Great.
I'm successful. Great. My big girl panties, my
I love
whatever panties.
Great. I love it. Done.
What I struggle with, because I'm not minimizing everybody else's ideas, where I feel like they can just create a Facebook group. I'm struggling with like, okay, patents or inventions. Like, how do you take a freaking pair of underwear and print shit in it? Like, where do you get that made? Who do you contact? Like all of that, you know, and what I want to do is almost like Bombas or like the Walker Bees, where
I think this is, look, dude, you have it.
Right. But I don't know those parts.
You don't need to yet.
To give underwear, like when people buy a pair of underwear.
You don't have to yet.
Okay. So
you need a prototype.
Okay. So I just need a prototype, a pair of underwear.
You don't want to know something amazing
about
today's world? Want to know something amazing about today's world? Is that without having a retail store, and you know this, you could create a shitty prototype. You could get a buddy of yours, because you are clearly a very resourceful person, to help you shoot a commercial. And by commercial, I mean a little video that runs online. You could set up a Shopify account. You could have 5 pairs of these things. And if 5 people buy them, you now can legally market that the sold out in one day.
Right.
Get on the wait list.
Okay.
And you can test and launch product ideas without having a store, without having inventory, without any of that shit.
Okay.
And it's all based on Shopify. You got, how many of you bought something on Instagram where you like see the video and you're like, ooh, shop now. And next thing you know, like, why did I buy this stupid sweatshirt? I do not need this thing. See, but that is a Shopify store.
So my question with that is, you know, and I believe in my other businesses as well, you know, the first impression is the only impression that I get. So if I have a product and let's say Mel Robbins goes ahead and buys these underwear and then they're not comfortable or they're shitty made, that's my worry. So let me
tell you a business with a shitty product. You ready? Uh-huh. You know, around the holidays, you see the pajamas that have everybody's face all over them.
Yes.
I bought those for my family this year. Worst made product on the planet. Took like 6 months to get here.
Right.
When we got here, literally the extra large was like here on Chris's arm because they were so small. Nobody cared because our dogs and cats' face were on it.
Right.
And so I feel like don't let perfection stand in the way of ideating and trying and risking. There are billions of people on social media.
Right.
If you sell a crappy product to 2 of them or 10 of them, and then you make it better.
Okay.
Because that's what every product does, is it gets better over time.
Okay.
You literally need to just find somebody to print this out, buy somebody else's underwear that you like, print it, stock, figure out where they're manufactured. And I'm telling you, you have an entire world that you can research. And once you start to pull on the thread of it, it will be everywhere. Like, for example, I did not know until I had interest in supplements that there are only 4 companies in the United States that make all the supplements that we all take. Only 4. Only 4. The same factory that makes Vega probably makes Isogenics and Arbonne and all this other stuff because you got to be FDA approved. Same thing is true with cosmetics, by the way.
Right.
They're all
Same
made
thing
in the
with
same
meat
places.
industry.
Same
Right.
thing is true with garments and stuff.
Okay.
You will figure it out. I love the idea. Love
Okay.
it.
So
Print up some damn underwear and start experimenting.
exactly. So what social media platform do you think it's best?
Instagram, 1000%.
Okay, that was easy.
And then the second one would be TikTok, but they haven't quite. TikTok is more influencery and then they recommend stuff. But I think
Okay.
for do Shopify accounts via Instagram. That's what you want to do. Amazing. Well done.
Okay.
I want to go to Tanya next, but I see that Kimberly is on the move. So I want to make sure that we're going to be able to reach you when you're a place that you can be, or do you need to go right now, Kimberly? Like I see you moving. So I want to be respectful that you may have to go somewhere. You got to undo you're okay?
I'm good,
Kimberly,
Mel.
you're good?
I'm good.
Okay, cool.
I'm good. I'm with you 100%. So just keep it going.
Okay, we're going to keep
taking
it
you
going
with
here. Okay, fabulous, baby. I love going with you. All right, let's go to Tanya.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, I'm a little nervous today, so don't mind me.
Why are you nervous?
I don't. And I'm also really tired. I'm in Dubai at the moment, so I'm a little bit. Yeah.
What time is it there?
It's coming up to 12:30.
Wow.
Tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I've
right.
been up waiting. I almost wasn't going to be making it. I was out with my friends. I'm on holiday here actually. I've come over here for 2 weeks of celebrating someone's birthday last week.
How exciting.
But I'm actually, this is actually really surreal for me. It just so happened that I was in a space, actually, I was in a space at home just thinking like, I know what I want to do, just didn't know how to kind of take that step in essence. I've been doing all the little things around it, but not really doing what I needed to do in that sense, right?
Yep.
So been doing loads of different projects or whatever. But my background is I've been 16 years in the TV industry, TV production in particular, 14 years working in golf as a senior production manager. In Europe, Middle East, Far East.
For the PGA?
Wherever. Yeah, European PGA.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I only say that because Jay Monahan's a really good friend of mine.
Yes, I've been doing it for a long, long time. And did it by chance, actually. I kind of fell into it and didn't realize that I love production. I love organizing events and that kind of stuff. But I'm very much a people person in that perspective. But it got to a point where years in, I decided actually this is not for me anymore, but I just couldn't get my arse in gear and leave. It took me leaving departments, moving on and realizing I'm just not in it for anymore. And I had many signs, but it was just time. So I'm like a number of women that are on here that like to coach, and I love coaching. I always have done from a young age. And where I was struggling with my purpose for a long time, I realized actually this is what I do. So I've always led teams. I've always mentored young people, especially. I've helped people elevate within the industry or within their lives in particular. There's so many people that have gone off and done incredible things based on me, empowering them to empower themselves in order for them to do what they truly love to do. Now, I'm here still doing it, and I'm not really showing up in my own space. So even with my friend just now, we just went out for lunch, dinner, and she couldn't find her purpose. And I action plan that tomorrow we're going to create her vision board, set out her goals. And even though I haven't even done it for myself, but this is what we're going to do tomorrow morning. And so to guide her along the way, I'm going to do it with her. So therefore she doesn't feel so daunted in doing it, right?
Right.
So where am I now? I was stuck in the perfectionism of it all and not realizing actually I don't need to be perfect in order to achieve what I need to achieve.
What do you want to achieve?
Well,
tell me about the vision.
The vision is to allow women especially to create their life print. My company's called Your Life Print. Now, but it's Your Life Print with Tanya Calendar. That's my name. I know I wasn't going to put my name on it, and then I was toying with that for a long time, and then listening to so much, I've realized that's actually what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, I signed up to B School based on your podcast or your YouTube that I saw that day when I was stuck. And it was almost within a week later, somebody else posted something to me by accident. And then it came up again. And I was like, I must go through Mel's page. I must do it this way, because not only am I getting Marie, I'm getting Mel. This is blowing my mind, right? So what I want to do is empower women. But what I've realized on this, just in the first part of B School, is that it's not just empowering women, but empowering women that have gone through or are going through trauma bonds. Now, myself, I know for me, so I've had some issues with past stuff or whatever that I'm even working through. I have a spiritual coach that I'm working through myself, but I also have fertility issues, right? So, what was her name? Latoya triggered me when she started talking about acupuncture and healing and stuff. Now, a lot of how us women show up and how we feel, I believe, is connected to our womb. And it once we've dealt with a lot of the issues there, it helps us grow, it helps us evolve, because we hold on to so much internally, right? Once we get through those processes, then we'll fully be able to live in our be our full feminine self, right? Still have the masculine element of ourselves, but I feel like some of us have been losing the feminine side of ourselves, right? So that means we can't be or live to our full potential. We always fall back and feel that we're not good enough or worthy enough. And don't get me wrong, we're stepping out and we're doing more about it, but there's still, from the women that I'm around and I'm encountering, that's kind of their traumas are the things that are holding them back more than anything else. Now, I want to break those barriers and allow women to realize, using some of the techniques I've learned, to come through, to basically really live in their truth and really have a full understanding that they can blow anything out the park and they can be who they really want to be.
All right. I got a lot to say. Is there anything else you want me? No. You're phenomenal. Phenomenal. So excited. So cool. You're in Dubai. So when you were talking, I had this whole thing that was almost like the opposite of what Joyce and I were talking about. Because I think the opposite message is meant for you.
Okay.
Meaning, where Joyce was saying, I'm only successful if there's money attached to it. I see massive money with you. And I think the reason why B School and the timing, you have to trust the timing of things. And I know you know this. The reason why this is coming like a big alarm in your life right now is because you're not supposed to just launch a coaching business. You're supposed to be known as the best. And I can see that is like the thing you're not like saying, that there's a really big game you want to play. There is something about the pedigree of the PGA and television production, and you're now in Dubai, and that all these people come to you anyway for this. That you're not thinking about this as a premium service. And what I would have you think about is, what are you marketing? Because it was very clear that Latoya was the one who was talking about trauma and trauma coaching, right? Okay. It's very clear that that's the message she's leading with.
Yeah.
There's a difference between your message and your method.
Mm.
I think trauma is part of the method.
Yeah.
I believe that what you want to market is purpose or clarity.
Say that again. It cut out.
Yep. Yeah, no problem. I believe that, there's a difference between what you're marketing as the message and the method that you use as a coach to help somebody achieve the thing they're hiring you to do.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
At the end of the day, you could market that you do all this and the trauma and the bonds and the this and that, and you're drawn to do this. But that's actually not what you're doing. People are coming to you because they want help with clarity and purpose and courage and a sense of what to do next. Mm. And you have this ability to walk people through a formula that you've done with multiple people that would probably give you testimonials. Whether they paid you or not for it is irrelevant. Mm-hmm. I went through her process, and within they don't need to know that part of your method involves addressing the trauma that is keeping you from tapping into what you're actually meant to do.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yeah. Because I'm the hype girl. I'm the one that will send you, no matter who it is, I'll blow you up. I'm going to say it in the sense of there's no one that comes to me that I don't speak to, that they have not left blown up, empowered to go and kick down those doors and make their mark.
Great. That's your message. That's your message. Like when you lose your sense of power, you come to me.
Okay. Yeah.
I get you right again. And then I push you back into the world. They don't need to know the method that you use and that one of the pillars is about healing trauma. Most people don't realize that my entire philosophy around mindset and mental health is about nervous system regulation.
Okay. Yeah.
No, most people don't know, not yet anyway, that I am doing tons of the psychedelic guided therapies for my own childhood trauma. I talk about it a little bit, but we haven't done extensive information about it. I don't talk extensively about EMDR, haven't talked about ketamine trials, haven't talked about MDMA, haven't talked about any of the stuff that are microdosing with mushrooms, which I haven't tried, but I've got the ones that I made, in my drawer, and I'm going to I don't talk about that yet, but that's about to become a big part of what I do, but I wouldn't market myself as somebody that helps people heal trauma.
Okay.
My message and marketing is about empowering you to create an amazing life for yourself, whatever that means for you. It's about taking control of what you can take control of. Mm-hmm. And then there's methodology underneath it around your mindset, around your nervous system. I talk a lot about systems because, like Rebecca was saying, I am also one of those people that I can't get my own flights booked. I would be a lousy executive assistant. I'm terrible at systems.
I'm great at that. That's not a
problem. Yeah, you see, but so there's I have lots of big ideas, but without the little systems that help me do things, I don't get anything done. And so those are all things that are down here. I want you to focus on the big message. I want you to take every friend that you have done this purpose thing through, and I want them to give you a testimonial.
Okay.
And I want you to charge more than you're comfortable with out of the gate.
That is it's funny because my friend coaches and she does a journal club online, and every time she looks at marketing herself, I'm like, your ask isn't big enough. So how are you going to expect?
So what do you charge? Let's talk about this right now.
The thing is, at the moment, I haven't been officially charging.
No problem. Let's decide right now. If you were to charge your friend tomorrow, which we're not, but you could say, I need you to be my first paying client. You're buying dinner the next 2 nights and it better be worth $500. Like, I don't know. I'm just making it up.
If I'm honest with you, I don't think, I think 250 would be my start. And then I'd move up from there, a session, because I'm worth it. Like,
well, first of all, you're going to give me clarity in my life.
I know.
And you're only charging me $250. Are you serious now?
I know. Okay. All right.
Is it one session? How many sessions would it take for me working with you to really feel like I got this purpose map or whatever you call it?
One session will make you know that I'm the right person for you.
Perfect.
Simple as that.
Then maybe you do this. Maybe you do this until you get going. It's a $250 consultation.
Yes.
And either way, you're going to leave with X.
Yeah.
And if you decide that you want me to do this process with you, it's $2,500 and it takes X. And you will still, for the $250, get X, Y, and Z. But that's what I charge. I have a wait list. I only work with a certain number of people. That's it.
That works.
Okay. I'm going to tell you a story. So this is super important because you cannot price yourself based on your insecurity. You have to price yourself based on what the market perceives is valuable. And I'm going to share with you an example. So as my speaking career started to take off, and I started getting booked and booked and booked and booked and booked. And I had this agent, he's like, you got to raise your price, dude. And keep in mind, 5 years ago, I still had liens on my house. So I was coming from a real scarcity mindset. And I was getting $25,000 a speech, which I thought was insane. I had never made that kind of money. Of course, you've got agents, so 25% goes off the top, but I was still like almost embarrassed to say, well, that's my, I didn't even have to say it. He said it. I was embarrassed that how is somebody paying me that? This would have probably been 6 years ago. And there was a bank, publicly traded bank, Fortune 100 financial institution. Their CEO was having a retreat. Their chief HR officer was at I can't remember whether it was like Rodan and Fields or, one of the multi-level marketing companies. And she's like, you got to get Mel Robbins in here to teach the 5-second rule. So I get brought into Philadelphia. This was the most nerve-wracking speech I'd ever given in my entire life because I found out that Dan Pink, the New York Times bestselling author, and this like super famous coach that's like a CEO coach who also has a big consulting company and multiple New York Times bestsellers, they were both speaking that day. So like a complete moron, I go the night before and then sit in the back of the room to watch these greats go. And the whole time I'm having a panic attack because I'm thinking, they're so good. I don't know what I'm going to say. How am I going to top this? This is so good. Oh my God. They're going to want their money back. I deliver the speech. I fucking kill it. At the end of the speech, standing ovation, the whole thing, because the 5-second rule, when I give a speech on stage, it's like a multimedia emotional thing. It's really a speech about anxiety and mental health and suicide and the 5-second decisions that change your life.
Yeah.
And so everybody's a mess. And the chief HR officer comes up to me afterwards and she says, Mel, I have to tell you something. And I said, great. And she said, we almost didn't hire you. And I said, why? And she said, because you were so inexpensive. We were told you were so good that when we heard your price, we actually didn't believe that you could be as good as everybody says you are. And then she said, that coach got paid 3 times what you got paid. That author got paid 4 times what you got paid. And you were 50 times better than either one of them. She said, you have to raise your prices because your price that you're charging does not match the value that you give. And if you underprice yourself because of your insecurity, you are communicating that you're not, that the value isn't worth it.
Okay.
And so you've got to think the kind of person that you want to, and for many of you, for example, B-School, that's a stretch. It's not an inexpensive program. But because it was a stretch, didn't that make you feel that there must be value in that program?
Yeah.
You see, nobody actually wants to feel like they're a bargain. People want to feel as if you see the potential and the growth. People want to feel like this is going to be worth it. And, you know, the truth is, I get paid $100,000 to give a 1-hour speech at this point. Because starting to raise the price raised my game. There's a reason why I'm the #1 female speaker in the world. There's a reason why people don't even blink. It's because when she said that to me, it was a fucking gift. Because I was letting my insecurity price me. I didn't even see my own potential and my value. And it's important for you guys to hear that number, not because I'm bragging. I mean, clearly, if I'm, you know, to your point, Scarlett, you know, there's lots of things that we could be doing this afternoon. And I just wanted to be with you guys because I'm so excited that you're investing in yourself. And I'm in it to make an impact. When you cross the line from wanting to make an impact to truly going, I'm going to also make a fucking business out of this. You got to think like a businesswoman. And there is tremendous value to what you're doing. And by the way, just because you can't do it for yourself doesn't mean you're not providing value. It's very hard to do for yourself what you can do for other people.
Yes.
I don't coach myself. Other people coach me.
I agree. I fully agree with that. I know that I can give everyone the best advice, the best training, the best resources. And then sometimes when it comes to myself, I'm like, okay, it's not until I hear it back, somebody else is giving me that information. I'm like, yeah, I know that. Why don't I do it for myself? That's the reason. I can't lie. I recently came across you, Mel, when I was fully focused on what it is I wanted to do. You came up everywhere in my timeline, everywhere. And I know that nothing is on purpose. Nothing is not supposed to be. Like, I know everything's intentional, right? So God showed up. He said, this is what you need to do. This is who you need to follow. This is who you're supposed to be kind of learning from. So I decided, I started subscribing. I was listening to all of your podcasts. I'm like, okay, I got to buy all their books. And Maria, I found about her last year. Her school came up last year and I'd missed it. So I signed up to the waiting list and I saw it pop up and I thought, am I ready for that? And then you popped up with the interview you had with her. And I was like, okay, this is it. And then it came up again. And I'm like, Tanya, do not miss this, because it's going to blow your mind and it's going to elevate you, which in turn means that you are going to be that gift to somebody else. So therefore, if I don't show up, that means somebody else doesn't show up and doesn't get to do what they're supposed to do. So yeah, I'm so grateful, honestly.
I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful that all of you are here. And let me say one more thing about the money. When we underprice ourselves, we are actually making it harder for other women.
Yes, that part. Yeah.
You are not doing yourself any favors You are not doing anybody else any favors. And by the way, you're not doing your client any favors by giving them a bargain. People don't want to feel like you expect less of them. People want to feel like you see something more for them. If somebody can't pay the $250, they shouldn't work with you. That's not the business you're in.
That's true.
They need to do the work to find the $250 so that they can then actually show up and work with you.
I agree. Love it. I'm so gassed.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank
All
you.
right. Anne Marie.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm very happy to be here. Blown away that you're actually live on this thing that we're doing. Followed you for a few years, and I guess I've read a million different self-help books, and over the years just tried in being in a lot of therapy and stuff. And I've had some trauma, and I suffer from depression. Just to bring you up to speed where I'm at now, I was watching you on YouTube and you mentioned B School. And at that time I had done, since December till now, I've been doing a lot of research on trying to find a program that would help to teach me what it is I really need to do and help me to get organized and deal with the fear of dealing with technology in my life. So I'm an esthetician. I do skincare for a living.
Oh, cool.
I'm very passionate about what I do. I like to really help to heal people's skin. And I've also found in healing people's skin sometimes, especially if somebody has really good skin, that you're not just healing their skin, but sometimes people just come to you because they're in a place where they just kind of, they want to pamper themselves, or they need someone to touch them, or, that whole self-care thing. So I've done this for 30 years now. And I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area when the pandemic hit. And of course, I collaborated with some other people, like a dermatologist and a nurse, and like different people that I would send my clients to for different things. And so when the pandemic hit, it was really clear to me. One of the physicians that I collaborated with said, you're going to be shut down for at least a year. You're not going to be doing facials. And I'd been thinking about moving out of the Bay Area for about 3 years with an ex-fiance, and that all fell apart. But there was something inside of me that kept saying, you need something else. You need to move somewhere else, because financially it wasn't sustainable. The energy had changed too much, and blah, blah, blah. So the pandemic lit a fire under my butt to move to Portland, Oregon. I actually ended up moving to the suburbs because I was going to go to school to get my master esthetician license and then go work with a dermatologist and take my career in sort of that direction. I did the school for 8 days. I left. It was completely horrible. And then the more research I did, the more I realized, after being self-employed for pretty much my whole life, because I graduated beauty school, opened my own business, that working for a dermatologist was not going to pay me enough money. And that the amount of time, I'm 56, the amount of time that it would take for me to really do all the networking, make the connections to maybe partner with a dermatologist and open a business was something I probably just at this age, I'm like, yeah, I think that's a little too much.
So do you know what you want to do?
Yeah, I do now.
All right. So tell me what you want to do.
So now I really want to transition to, I also had a stroke. So that was part of also what changed I had 6 days before I was supposed to start work part-time at a very high-end fancy spa that I walked in and was like, hire me. They hired me. I had a stroke. Anyways, I went to the job.
If that's not a sign that you're not supposed to go back to a high-end spa, I mean, you must be really stubborn. I'm just going to say, I tend to literally need a sledgehammer in order to pivot. So I recognize one stubborn person from another, but I'm glad you're okay. So what are you going to do now?
So anyways, all said and done, I love doing skincare and working on people, but I don't necessarily physically think that that's the best thing for my body anymore. And I want to have an online virtual skincare business in which I sell products, set people up on a skincare program, and then eventually start my own brand. And then, when I'm ready to transition to something else, probably sell my business, retire, and in between all that, maybe do some teaching. So that's where I'm at. And the big thing is just being all the stuff around technology. And it's just like,
well, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me just ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need help with right now?
It feels like everything. And like when I started taking the B school and realized, it's not like we're going to work at one thing at a time. And it's going to be like, okay, you're going to learn how to do this. It was more of, the direction of these, identifying the things that you need to be doing. Right. And then forcing myself to I always find all these crazy distractions to not be taking, spend, how many hours do I need to spend on learning how to really properly, write an email? And the other thing I'm struggling with is I had my practice for a really long time. I'm still in touch with a lot of my clients. And when I first opened, I launched an online store and then
hold on. Let me ask you something. Because here's what I think you are. I think that you're a person that is a workhorse without a home. When COVID hit and I was no longer on airplanes and going to events and speaking here and going there and going there and then going there, and then we're all in quarantine and then we're up in Southern Vermont, and the stillness nearly killed me. And it was only in being forced to slow down that I realized how much I was regulating my own anxiety and my own issues by darting to Target and running to catch a plane and running over here and running over there. And you have that energy about you right now. Mm-hmm. And you're a very smart, driven person. And when a very smart and driven person doesn't have something that you're aiming it at, you spin. Mm-hmm. And so I want to help you focus. First of all, I want to understand, are you in a position where you can pay your bills, or do you have to find a job to stabilize that while you launch this business?
I'm going through my saving. I'm not going through my savings yet. I have about 3 more months of money, and then I'll probably go into my savings. But I'm thinking about getting a business loan. I've never had any debt in my life. And this will be the first time I'll have debt. And I am really trying to frame my head around that fear.
I wouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. Nope. I think after having a stroke and not having a business up and running and being overwhelmed by all of the logistics associated with the technical aspect and the this and the online and the product and the JPEG and the upload it and what piece of thing, and it's too much. Mm-hmm. I personally get nervous when I hear that in 3 months you're going to be going into your savings. What I would rather see you do is I would rather see you get a job, whether it's part-time or it's full-time. You don't have to be doing the skincare, but you could be working in a related industry. Even if you're a part-time manager of a location. So you're not doing that part, but you have, again, a rhythm. You have a routine to your week, because you and I are racehorses. And when we are not pointed at a race to run, we run in circles. And so getting a job does a couple things. It gives you something to organize your week around. The second thing that it does is it allows you to not dip into your savings, which is very important. The third thing that it does is it extends the runway so you can at least get through B school and allow all of the teaching to inform what you really want to be doing. And should you do an online web commerce strategy with skincare, of course you could do that. And I just want to say something, everybody. It took me a really long time to realize that there are things that I can figure out and I can get it so far, but I'm just not good at that shit. One of the things that I'm not good at is writing emails. And if any of you are on my email list, you know, because I only send something out like once a month. And then even then I can barely get the damn thing out. And so that's something like making yourself do things that you can't stand, that you're not good at, that aren't suited, that this and that. It's one thing to learn it so you understand it and then have somebody else do it. It's another thing to organize your whole life and aim yourself at something that you really don't even enjoy doing and that's overwhelming. Technology is like that for me. I understand it, but I get immediately spun in circles. And I'm saying this because I want to give you both possibility of, yes, of course you could do that. And if you want to launch an online store and if you want to do virtual consultations, that's great. And the runway to make something like that profitable is probably longer than you're going to want to hear. And if you don't like the tech required and the marketing required, because that, by the way, is not a skin consultation business, that's a marketing business. You know, I had this conversation with my husband, Chris, who has a men's retreat. And I basically said, you have to decide whether you just want to do this for impact and have it break even and do 3 retreats a year because it fills your soul and it allows you to have an impact, or you got to decide if this is a business. But understand that if you're going to scale this men's retreat business, you're not in the men's retreat business. You're in the digital marketing business. Because you're only going to fill all of the spots in those retreats if you're constantly marketing those retreats. That is not the same thing as leading retreats. And so I hear you say, because of the stroke, because of my body, because of this, I need to be responsible about my health. Great. I've also heard you say loud and clear, you freaking love being an anesthetician. And you love being in person with people. Mm-hmm. And I believe that there is a hybrid job defined now that gives you structure and community that's missing. Mm-hmm. And that allows you to have a bigger runway. And I just had this suspicion that you're going to meet a partner that is going to help you with this. Because I don't see you doing virtual skincare consults. I see you creating your own product line.
I agree with that, but where I'm at with this a little bit right now is I was unsuccessful with my launch. And because of my brand and the clientele that I built over time with my brand, I also don't want to be in a place where I think I haven't paid enough attention to that since I moved here a year and a half ago. And I don't want to completely lose those people by not paying attention to it. So the blessing of not working right now is also because it's finally giving me the time to work on all these things that I never had the time to do because I was too busy seeing clients. So I've actually learned a lot about computers lately.
Oh, great.
And I feel like I have the ability to do this. And I know it's all about marketing. And for me, that's kind of exciting because I feel like this area of business for me is where I can finally use my creative side.
Fantastic.
Versus just my, skill side.
Fantastic. Now let me point something out to everybody. The fact that you pushed back, Anne-Marie, is a great thing. Mm-hmm. Because it means what I was saying to you isn't true. Mm-hmm. And it made you fight for something that you want. And for all of you that want to be coaches, this is really important. You're not supposed to have the right answer. You're either going to nail it and it's going to bring up something for somebody, or you're going to go and nail it and it's going to bring up something for somebody. Positive or negative, it doesn't matter because your job is to wake somebody up to the truth. And the truth is what you're saying is that you actually are really into the marketing side of this and the tech side of this. It's bringing out a whole new side to what's possible for you.
Yeah.
And here's what I want to tell you. You are in exactly the right place because everything that you are learning in this course is exactly what you need to know.
Yeah.
And whatever piece of this that you're resisting or like, take those videos twice.
Okay.
Awesome. I still would like to see you get a part-time something because I don't want you to take a loan. That's going to put too much pressure on this. I want you to have more community. I want you to have a rhythm to the week. I want you to take some pressure off.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to give yourself that support and that gift. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So, Kimberly, are you able to talk now? Great job, Emery.
Thank you.
Is this a good time to talk to you? Okay, great.
Yes. Okay, of course they're mowing the lawn somewhere where I am, but hey, what the heck? I have no control over that.
I love it.
Thank you, Mel. What's happening? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay. All right, so here's the deal with me. We're going to make it quick. I don't know how short and sweet, but we're definitely going to make it quick. I am a 55-year young mother of 2, grandmother of 6. And thanks. And just started a new business last year at 55. I'll be 56 this year. My question to you was, well, first a couple of things. You were sent to me, just like Tanya had mentioned. I am a God-fearing spiritual woman, and you were definitely sent in my feed from God. Because, you know, there's times that people think I'm crazy and I say, talk to me, but they can think whatever they want. But you were sent because I had asked for, I felt like I was doing the business. It was becoming overwhelming. It was so much to learn. I am a interior designer. Loved it. Have been doing things over in my family, friends, clients' house since I was a little girl. I say about 8. So have always had the love for this. Styling and design is a part of my DNA. I am a hairstylist by trade.
I love
clothing
it.
Designer by trade. I've done it all. But this was the one that stuck with me. I love doing this. But back to the original, I just felt like I was overwhelmed. I felt like I was stuck. I took a little time off from my classes. I'm certified stager and redesigner, and eased it into design now. But it's only been just made it a year with my business. My thing was about 3.5 years ago, I just drove up here to take my grandson to his appointment. He's getting ready to turn 16. So about 3.5 years ago, a big change was in my life. Once again, God set this thing up. I thought I was all ready. I'd saved up my funds. I thought I was getting ready to head to Paris. And Paris was rerouted. Paris was rerouted. I'm originally from Philly. I'm a Philly girl. And it was rerouted to the suburbs of Philly. And I didn't quite understand. So I left it in God's hands and he kind of showed me. So it was a point for me to bring my family together. Not just my grandchildren, because 4 of them live with me now. Mm-hmm. So I raised my 2 and now I'm raising 4 grands. So a little different. The trip to Paris didn't happen yet, but it's coming. It's coming because plus I'm going to Japan with Elena. So, you know. But I made a lot of changes, had to make a lot of changes, a lot of adjustments. And I still sometimes each day wake up not knowing how I do this, but I know it's definitely God embedded in me. My biggest thing was sometimes when I said I prayed for you and you came in my feed. And the reason I signed on to B school is because it was just the next dynamic that I had to learn. I needed to say, okay, I might not be a licensed designer, but I got this thing. Okay. And I've been doing this a long time and skills outranks any of them. I don't care what you say, but yes. So I was there with all of that, but then I'm like, okay, I need more marketing. I need, and this one company reached out to me and literally they were like, okay, we can get you up and rolling, interior design, and it'll be 12,000. Do you have it tomorrow?
No.
Yeah, right.
No.
Okay.
No.
Right. Well, you know how
No.
that
How
went.
old's your oldest grandchild?
Well, he'll be 16 in May.
Excellent. So is he the gentleman that was sitting next to you?
Yes. No, he listens to you. I have him listening to you.
What's his name?
Jaden. He just went in the building though.
So Jaden is your head of marketing.
Yes, I just made him that this week. You want to hear something?
Yeah, tell me.
I said to him, I need an assistant. And this is a business that I'm building as a legacy. I need an assistant. You're 15, get ready to turn 16. And there's a reason why you're not getting these jobs, because you need to be right here. So I'm going to give you some work and we'll allot, an amount for you to get paid. And I need your assistant. And he was like, well, yeah, I'm my mom. So I'm mom to the second power. So I said to him, listen, well, I'll work out a price for you. He was like, no, you don't have to pay me. Oh, no. You must be paid. You must be paid. So we just literally had that conversation yesterday.
Okay. So here's why I'm saying this. The reason why I'm saying this is because what you need is not somebody else that can market you. You need somebody capturing the stuff you're doing. So you need photos of the things you're staging. You need before and afters. You need, the company Studio McGee?
Oh, very well. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know that her husband was in digital marketing.
Okay. Yes.
So she had a small little business.
Right.
And he started helping her market. And so I want you follow her already. Mm-hmm. I also want you to follow a woman by the name of Amber Lewis. Amber Lewis. And the reason why I am just telling you these two, and they're really big names. So I'm going to drum up a couple other folks that are kind of more in the 100,000 followers.
Okay.
But there's a couple different things, like your Instagram account is your business because you are showing people photos of your work.
Right.
You're showing people before and after staging companies. Whenever you are hired by a real estate agent to come in and stage something, or an event planner to stage an event, you are to tag those people because then they're going to repost it.
Right.
And then people see your work. The other thing that I want you to talk to your grandson about is that, just like we were talking with Scarlett's business about Shopify.
Yeah.
Shopify enables you to sell products that you don't have in a store. So for example, do you ever use, do you know Visual Comfort, that lighting company?
No, I'm not familiar.
Well, there's like a lighting company called Visual Comfort. It's a big,
okay.
But most of the major brands these days will drop ship, meaning this.
Oh yeah.
Let's say that you have a favorite couch that you use all the time. And every time you photograph it, right, you can put it into Shopify so that your Instagram photo, you can tap it and click directly to buy it.
And I just learned about Shopify with Maria.
And they're not going to, in some cases, you can pass them directly. Like, for example, I am an affiliate on Marie's course. It's the first time I've ever done it. I'm not launching a business course. I think she does a phenomenal job with her content.
Yes.
And I believe in it. I get asked all the time about it. So I thought, I'll help you out, Marie. And yeah, I'll take the affiliate link. And for any business, you guys, you can literally on Instagram, in the photo, I could probably find a florist that if I took a photo of this, posted it on Instagram, put it into Shopify, you could tap and click and order it. And I would earn commission from that. That is what Shopify does.
I do have some of that with my classes and with my schooling in that, the trades and so I'm definitely going to be on Shopify. That's
yes,
a bet.
That you need to do a Shopify integration with your Instagram account, number one. And I can send you, will you send them to Top Figure, Amy? my guys that are in Minnesota. I love these two guys that founded Top Figure. They specialize in Amazon stores and Shopify, and they're just freaking awesome guys.
Awesome.
Tell them I sent you. Okay. I love these two. And so they will help you. And they will even they will probably talk your grandson through it. They also offer super inexpensive courses, but they will, trust me, I'm sure they've got free content to help you set it up. But there is
thank you.
But I want you to think about, how do I show everybody the work I'm doing? Even if it's like you sitting in the front seat, here she is working on her stuff. Like, that's what you want out in the world. And then here's the other thing I want everybody to hear me loud and clear. Only 5% of the people that follow you see your content on social media. 5%. Keep reposting the things that do well.
Yes, yes.
So when you get really good installations or before and afters, repost them every month. Because 95% of your audience didn't see it. And if you like other people's work, repost their stuff and call out to, hey, here's here, one of my favorite designers, so-and-so, give her the credit. You can even put that into Shopify and sell the lamp in her design.
Awesome. 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 And here's the thing. It's great. I originally wrote in last night about how do you keep your motivation going? Like you as a person, me being a mother of two, they're gone. But now I have the 4 grands. But in all honesty, from me being on this call, maybe 30 minutes ahead of time, but from me being on this call this long, oh my gosh, the motivation is already set up. It's already there. It was just the extra click. And like I said, with B School, it was the marketing piece. It was really, because my website is up. That's been it's beautiful. It's things that I need to update on it. I need to make it more personalized so that they can know who I am, because I sell me every day.
Yep.
And basically you answered the question from everybody answered it for me.
Think about your Instagram as your HGTV channel.
Gotcha. Now that I can do.
There's no doubt in my mind you can do that. Like, it's about because when you're in business, everybody, think about your channel as your outbound. This is your TV show. This is your billboard. This is your whatever genre you're in. This is your event. In terms of, if you're a coach and you want to be a motivational speaker, every time you post something, you are advertising what you do and who you are in the world. Think about it from an outbound standpoint. And the second that you get into your mind that stuff that you're posting is not for friends and family.
Exactly.
If they like that stuff, great. But if they don't, no big deal. Because you are putting it out so that people who are looking for that can find you.
Great. Yes. That is definitely great information, Mel. I thank you. You are definitely an inspiration. And ladies, all of you that I've listened to, I thank you. I commend you. I left my hands up to you. Whoop, whoop. And if you've been seeing my thing, I've been getting everybody a whoop whoop. So
I love it.
Thank you. And I
can't wait to see what you do. And your instincts are dead on with your grandson. Those guys are so much better with technology than all of us, especially
most definitely. Yeah. Well, I have the 14-year-old granddaughter who does all the picture stuff. So she doesn't know she's next in line to get a job. So
fantastic. Yeah. All right. Amy, have I missed anybody? I can't tell.
No, Mel, you're good, because Kimberly, I think that's you. Kimberly's Blessings is you there too.
Yes, that's
maybe
me too.
Kimberly's. That's you too.
We use that for the kids. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, don't be sorry. No.
Rebecca
you're right.
Did they get Rebecca Lee?
You know what? Mel said there's no need to apologize. You know what? Thank you, Amy, for looking for that Kimberly's Blessings. That is me.
Yeah, that is you. We know it's you. After that call, we know it's you. It could have been Kimberly Saunders too, though. But anyway, yes. Okay. So let's see. Rebecca Lee, unfortunately, just left like 2 minutes ago. I did ask her if she had a question, and she said she didn't have a question. She still has so much to work through personally. She hasn't even started B School yet, but she's really excited to just be in
Awesome.
the presence of all of these awesome women. So we totally get that.
Awesome.
So you're all set, Mel.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you. I'm so proud of all of you. It was such an honor to be able to spend, 3.5 hours together. That's amazing. I love it. And I can't wait to see what y'all do. You have within you the ability to do everything that you need to do. You do. Like the only thing that's going to stop you is the shit that's in your head. And you already did the hardest part. You jumped in. And now it's about literally just every single day, focus on getting the little things right. That's all I want you to do. Just focus on getting the little things right. Because when you just focus on the little things, the big things take care of themselves. So, it really is like, Joyce, I mean it. Like, you get to enjoy yourself. You get to just serve. And, for Kathy, really allow yourself and give yourself the permission to just find a program and let yourself be a student before you figure out all this crap. And yeah, you can do the B school stuff because it's going to inform you, as you go along. And, I cannot wait, Marina, to see what you're posting every single day, right? In that Instagram channel as she's doing one thing a day. And Elena, let us know what's happening with Japan. Okay. April 1. I was not expecting that. I'm really proud of you because I was expecting like June. I think we'll do it in June, And Scarlett, we need I saw the thing about the big girl panties. I have this thing about big girl panties because when I'm down in the dumps, my mom's really loving. And then she's literally like, all right, now you got to pull up your big girl panties and freaking deal with it. Okay. And so I can't wait to see your prototype and talk about Premier Purpose Coaching. Hey, now raise those prices, Tanya. Come on. And Jackie, it's time for Facebook to light up. Anne-Marie, you surprised me. I'm really excited for you because you're a shark. And I love that you are passionate about the marketing piece because you can't just be passionate about the product. To really win at this, you got to love the piece of being super cool and like innovative around getting the marketing out. So that's really, really good. I'm pumped. And Kimberly, holy shit, lights out. Watch out, Studio McGee. I mean, God is working through you. And thank you for allowing me, everybody, to be a part of your life. And thank you for trusting me. I do not take that lightly. And we are here. We're cheering for you. Amy's going to get you guys emails. And I wish you nothing but the best. That's it. I love y'all. Hey, it's Mel. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed that video, by God, please subscribe because I don't want you to miss a thing. Thank you so much for being here. We've got so much amazing stuff coming. Thank you so much for sending this stuff to your friends and your family. I love you. We create these videos for you. So make sure you subscribe. Mwah.